If you can believe that, to the downside for the overall market. Pretty ugly board to show you once again this afternoon. Vastly different than this morning. If you joined us in the pre-markets, the Dow actually right now that's leading the way. 0.9 to the downside, the S&P 0.72, NASDAQ 0.4 in the red as well, about 0.5% here for the TSX in Toronto. Even with this move in crude oil, if you missed it this morning, Russia suggesting that OPEC Plus may in fact cut production by 1 million barrels per day at their next meeting. So that caused a big spike in crude. Still holding on to a nice gain. 0.8 for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Remember, Bitcoin was up 6% at one point this morning. Ethereum about 5%. So huge reversals right across the board. Speaking of the big board, there it is. Very, very red right across the entire thing at this point. A few areas of note as we head through the afternoon. Lucas just unplugged the camera, appears. Energy stocks downside right now are fading a little bit, even with crude still in positive territory on the day. NCLH, Expedia, CCL, RCL still in positive territory as far as travel names are concerned. Everything else, though, back to the downside in the consumer discretionary group. Financials, industrials, and healthcare stocks leading, however, as far as negativity is concerned. But still, some green on this board as we quickly move back to negative territory. Hope your afternoon is going well here as we welcome you back in. A couple hours left in the day as it's becoming a difficult one once again. We'll touch on a few things we were discussing in the pre-market this morning, including I want to make sure we get through some of these EV names because they're holding up quite nicely as we make our way through the afternoon, along with the semiconductors, along with big tech as well, still holding on to positive territory if the market is going to hold on to this June low as it's bouncing along right now. We'll need some of these to participate back to the upside. Let's jump into, as I mentioned, what we were discussing in the pre-market. Make sure you join us every single day. We talk about opportunities like the one you're going to hear about right now from Sean's here to talk about one of his trades.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your trade of the day again today. Brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you hit that QR code in the bottom right there and start your prop trading journey ASAP. All right, look, AMD, pretty easy one for me today. And I just want to identify one thing here. We've been trading AMD for a while, so I'm just going to call up the sticky note here. Make sure you follow all of us at Trader TV, Sean, Neil, Brendan, and our main account right here. AMD could fail near 69. Try to fade any pops as chips are still weak. So let's have a look at this. Here's yesterday's top, 69 right there. We actually had that short, brought it all the way back in. Look at today, look where the top is again, 68.80. Those of you that were watching the first show, you understand. We were 2 pennies away from getting that short right there. We missed it. Look what happens. It absolutely falls back down. This was a small little keystroke error. We went long, then got out, tried to get that short, didn't have it. But this is why this is the trade of the day, okay? It's because as a day trader, and I actually tweeted this out as well, you have to have the ability to flip over, right? If you're thinking long and then all of a sudden the short comes in, you have to be able to switch your position and switch your idea. So let's go over this right here. As we come in, we were trying to go against this pre-market bottom, 67.40, 67.30. So we start to go long. We get long at 67.50. We get long again there at 40. And again, once it breaks and takes down that day's low right there in the pre-market, what do we wind up doing? We get out. It's a 17-cent hit. I calculated it. That's why we're up here to discuss it. But then look what happens. Then we look back and we say, uh-oh, what if we break this 67 level? The level that we ramped up to yesterday on the close. Well, guess what? We do wind up breaking that. And guess what we wind up doing? These purples, shorts. So we switch it up. So we go from missing the short up here to trying the long at the 200 period. Then all of a sudden 67 breaks and it's cash money time. Look at all these outs. A lot of outs right there. Then some more back here. Out, 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 out. Then we start to go long. We identify again, okay, where's the bottom possibly? Let's go find out. Where did we go to yesterday at close? We dropped all the way back down to 66. So again, long here, short here, long down here. These are actual positions. I'm in it right now. I actually don't know why. I just didn't get out. I should have an offer up here. So when we're done this, we're going to go back and punch out. But right now, we're long at 66.10. It's at 66.80. That's 70 cents worth of risk. And guess what, traders? Where was my out if I was wrong? Look, I go long here at 66.10. My out, 66. It's 10 cents worth of risk. But look what the upside. We have 8 times the risk to reward right here. We're in the money 80 cents on this trade. So it's your trade of the day. And the key point is why. Why? We identified AMD early. I send this out every day, 8 a.m. It's on our trade list. Plus, we're looking, we go long because the market was up, right? Then all of a sudden, look, we've been here 21 years. We understand the market can flip. It does that right here at 67, fades back in, get out, get long, boom goes the dynamite. I'm going to run back to my desk and get another piece out of AMD.
Great opportunity for AMD and all of the chip makers here as we bounce along this June low once again. Trying to hold here as the market at this significant level. Doesn't get much more significant than year lows, 52-week lows for the all-time or the market. So we'll see if we can hold this. A lot of the individual names, I'm going to show you Google here in a second, but a lot of the individual names right at those levels as well. That's the watch list, guys. Make sure you grab that every single day. We had all of the chip makers on watch today, including AMD. Micron earnings coming up on Thursday. We'll discuss that. JP Morgan with a negative note on Micron. I want to start things off with a look at these two charts once again, because significant to say the least. On your left is the 10-year Treasury. On your right is the 2-year Treasury. So when we spoke in the morning, these were both negative on the session. We've since seen a reversal for both the 10-year and the 2-year. Back to highs, in fact, here for the 10-year, coming up to 4% now for the 10-year, the 2-year back to 4.35, basically where it was yesterday. You can see kind of choppy action the past. This is a 4-hour chart, choppy action over the past 24 hours or so. If you were joining us during the midday show, I was kind of watching this US dollar doing the same thing. Big time wick at the bottom here, reversal candle from 113.5 right back to 114.5 for the DXY. So all of the currencies back in negative territory, obviously, versus the US dollar as well. So all of this combined, not good for equities, as we've been discussing over the past couple of weeks, guys. But one of the things, as we mentioned, we were talking about in the pre-market was the chip stocks, because of not only what's coming up on Thursday with Micron earnings, but how relatively weak they have been over the past couple of weeks, guys.
Yes, how weak they've been over the last couple of weeks. Although weirdly enough, you will see, I'll get to why I'm long Micron after favoring those shorts, because it's been relatively strong. But we just got to the top end of the range again and rejected it again. So I got out of NVIDIA. I was long NVIDIA in front of 123. If we come to the chart quickly here, just how many times is it going to test these bottoms, higher lows? But we just got to resistance and rejected it. Just a quick look here. You're going to see the NASDAQ got right up to this 11.3. Top wicked, it wicked it again, and then pulled right back. So I just got out of NVIDIA, but why am I holding on to Micron? You know, you like Micron short in front of 50-60. Look, short pop worked, the lower high shorted, and then as the market kept testing the lows, Micron just kept running to the upside. Like, it broke VWAP. When the market is bottom feeding on those levels, yeah, I just showed you NVIDIA in a cluster at the bottom. Sean just showed you a cluster on the low in AMD. All of big tech's doing the same thing. Meanwhile, you've got Micron busting VWAP and back above $50. Well, I see relative strength. I understand that even if I like that resistance to be short, I'm gonna look for longs. If the market breaks out from here, well, Micron's already put in a significant low. Factor in, you know, it's been in the bottom of this range. There's room for it to actually run. I think that's capped by the fact that we have earnings coming through. But relative strength for me, if it's busting VWAP and showing a strong trend up when nothing else is breaking out of that bottom channel, then I want to work some longs here in Micron in front of that 50 level. 49.85 about will be my out, but I'm going to rinse and repeat that. It's just extending a little bit further than some of these other names here today. Like so much is at the low of the day today. It's kind of nice to see something break out in the afternoon here, despite the fact I came in wanting to short this thing pretty much all day long.
Yeah, we're going to, we're just watching AMD right now, and we're about to get out of this one. We're in the money, nice little 80 cents. It's at the top of this range, up to 67. So yeah, chips are on fire. Chips for me today, obviously the trade of the day. We just talked about where AMD went, and again, thanks for all the nice comments when I come back here and see that. You know what, it's just, this is how I play, right? I mean, this is what we're doing. We're buying these dips down here, we're shorting it, we're having that ability to switch it up. It's a tough trade for PDT traders, for sure, because you're unable to make that kind of quick switch. So I do understand that, and it sucks for sure. I'm going to get out here around, I mean, why not? I mean, I'll just get out right now. I like a little bit higher. Maybe give me some 95s. Let's offer 95s. I like a break through 67, a little higher than 67, 67.05. Basically right there, kind of where we started the short. I like to flip that over to the long. That bottom right there is 67.10. So I feel like we could try to flip over to the long. We're above it on the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. So for me, I like AMD. And again, where did we respect that bottom? I mean, it just came into 66 bucks again. Pretty easy to take that trade. When you have a bottom like that, and this is what I mean, this is what's like revolutionized my trading, is just to sort of wait and understand that you can get any of these prices. Like we were, again, 2 cents away from making our day like at 9:40, whenever this was there, to the upside. We missed that fill, and then we cry about it all the way to the downside. But then what are you going to do? Like literally $2 later, I'm shorting it and cashing in, and then grabbing the bottom $4 later and bringing, I guess $3 later, and then bringing it back right up here to the upside one more time. So yeah, man, I mean, you just have to be patient in this market. It's really helped me sort of, you know, calm down, wait for the right levels, and then when you get the fill, you hold on to it for a little bit longer, right? So I feel like chip names continue to be strong. AM are strong trades. They're not strong at all on the daily. You can see where AMD is right here, just continues to make new lows. We already took down its low right there of 72. So every day it's a new 52-week low for these names, but that doesn't mean they're not amazing trades. And I think that that's the whole point. Trading NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Micron, they're just wicked. Micron reports on Thursday, should be more fun. Just like I said, man, AMD is going to pop and then fade every single day. It's written on the sticky note. There's no like Nostradamus or anything going on here. It just happens every day. Now it's happening again. Let's see if the market can rebound here in the afternoon. I'm taking long if we break 67.
The concept of relative strength and relative weakness during lunchtime, and there's no better example of that than what Sean just showed you there, the June lows. You know, the market holding June lows currently, a lot of these individual names, chips based, below those June lows. So that's a very good example of that right now. Here's Tesla on the intraday time frame right now, also positive on the day, trying to bounce, in fact, off that 278 to get back above 280, which was resistance here this morning. A couple of interesting notes on Tesla came out this morning. They were talking about this Shanghai upgrade and how they're going to keep capacity at 93% instead of running it at 100 going forward. They didn't actually provide a reason as to why they were doing that, but 93% is still 22,000 vehicles coming out of Shanghai, which is an enormous number, obviously. This note as well, very high delivery volume, essentially, expected in their current quarter. Fear not, because earnings season is coming. October 14th, we'll get some of the big banks to kick things off. And then the very next week, October 19th, we get Tesla earnings. So very high delivery volumes expected, guys, on October 19th for Tesla's current quarter.
Well, Brennan, you may not know why they picked 93%, but I know why they picked 93%, because Elon called up Fahad and he said, look, man, we need to know what efficiency or what level to run the Shanghai plant at. And he's like, what do you shoot on your foul shots? He's like, I'm a 93% shooter. So, okay, we'll aim for that because Fahad is the man.
Best case.
We'll try to follow his lead. So that makes sense to me.
That's a tough lead to follow.
It's impossible. There is Fahad.
Apparently Fahad went home and practiced and he shot a paltry 9%. So we're going to wait to see.
Wow, Fahad. He's already calling you out. But we'll do this when he's healed up. We have to figure this out.
Oh, he was using his feet to throw them into the net. That's why he got that one there.
Did
you have Tesla trade today?
I did trade Tesla today, and it was I'm up on Tesla, but it's disappointing because it was set up so well that if we got that relief rally today, like that little one of these bear market rallies, it was break in 285. You had this nice double bottom, my 15-minute. Once it was going, it's like, yeah, get the scalp out. It's going to go. And then it fails the top. And much like everything else, harsh reversal. It ends up breaking 280. 280 was the only other. It was like 85, 80, and 75 were the prices I liked. So I did take a 285 bars or 280 break to the downside, scalp that out. I tried to bottom pick at 78. That's not really the 75 price. Ended up getting stopped out there. It's still up on the day because of where we closed, but that doesn't really do the momentum justice. Truth of the matter is, like, this rollover was pretty intense. You saw what happened in the overall market. Tesla's doing much better percentage-wise than a lot of other names here, but that's a little bit deceiving. Like, we came back down like everything else. I like that 75 for support. I don't know that we see it here today, but in the event that we do get a big flush, whether it's today, tomorrow, 75 is the next leg down that I like. I flipped to longs in Micron. You could probably convince me above 280 on Tesla, but in this bottom channel, it's a little too it's diddling in the middle here. I'll reload on NVIDIA. I don't know if I want to reload in front of this low on Tesla. It doesn't feel right. If we get to 75, I'll be on that bid.
I just want to update. So I'll talk about Lucid in a minute because that was the only EV name that I had. I know. Oh, we're on Lucid next. Okay, I don't have anything to do with Tesla yet, but I just wanted to quickly say something. We did get out of our AMD. It looks like it's a short sell, but we're not. We are now flat. You can see that we only have long. Apple's in the money at $1. Google just came back to flat, and I'll show you that trade in a minute right now. But I'm just going to try to go short AMD against this 67. If it takes 67.05, like we said, then we'll go out. Now the 50 period's been broken right now on NQs. So we're going to wait to see. That's, of course, the NASDAQ 100. And there we go. We've got another one. We're reloaded one more time here on Google. So we'll see if we can do that. This is what we've been doing today. Buying bottoms on Goog. So we'll see if it takes out these bottoms of 85, then we're going to get out. But we just got a Google trade in there. We actually got 96s. So about, again, takes down 85, we'll get out. We're going to be about 15 cents worth of risk. Let's see if this one can get back going to the upside. Long 96, 97 right now on Google. Let's see where we go.
Positivity, as you mentioned, they're coming from other names in the EV group today, including this one, Lucid. Cantor Fitzgerald with a very, very, I have to say, positive note on Lucid this morning, initiating coverage at overweight on the stock, which is vastly different from Citigroup going back to last month. They were only at buy, and there was one other one here at underperform as well, going back to September. But very positive note from Cantor today. I guess they're very long, apparently, on Lucid.
Well, you talked about, yeah, well, they might be very long, but they have an opportunity to get very longer right now because it did fall down off those levels. So we hit Lucid really early, man. It was one of the names on our sticky note, of course, in, out. And then it fell down right into, again, I could show you the sticky note, but we wrote down 1425 as an area for support. So look where it came back into and just started bouncing off 1425. We have some outs here, 34s, 36s, 40s, and then it came back in. We did it again. This time we got 25s. This was a little bit earlier. That was 28s. That's 25s. And then out again, 32s, 31s. Our best out was about 33. And then all of a sudden it broke the bottom and we wound up getting out. So right now, Lucid, again, yeah, great report. That's nice. But again, all the way upside, it's actually down today. So it's not, it's up today, but down from where we started, which many stocks are. They went for a nice run. We were pretty happy when it was up here near 1520 and thought we could go for a run. I still think you can on Lucid. You're right here at the bottoms. I mean, if Cantor Fitzgerald's going to go in there and talk it up, that does seem to think that they are long anyways, or like the long thesis there. I don't really like it. I mean, we just talked about Tesla and sort of the power that they have with what, 20,000 cars, whatever we said there, like just spinning it out like it's candy. So, or 2,000 cars a day, sorry, from the Shanghai plant. I mean, these guys can't produce that much in a quarter. So I'm a little nervous about that side of things. I just wonder about the valuation. You're pretty low right now. That 1360 is the bottom. On a daily, we've already talked about where it is. So I think there's potential here for Lucid. I just think you got to be careful trying to chase those bottoms. So let's wait to see here. You know, if you're going to buy it now, you have that 1350 bottom there. So, you know, it's not a horrible risk to reward for a longer term take. But as far as a day trade is concerned, broke my back there once we took out 20. So that's a 5-cent hit on the last piece. And overall, it'll be about 6 cents because, like I said, that's 28s, that's 25s. But we did get out of the way. So I'd watch out for it. It might be a long, but I'm not going long till we break the 50 period, which would be a break above 30 one more time.
So a couple of things. One, I can't believe how much this chart looks like the Tesla chart. It's like breakout, it was a great breakout, hits the high, and then just like everything else, it ends up reversing. I didn't have Lucid. I was trading Tesla, but pretty much the same thing. Before we get into the crypto fades, I'm just going to point out, and I'm going to blame this on Brad if it doesn't work, because that's what you do sometimes, is you don't take personal responsibility for the trades you make. No, I'm just kidding. But this $5 on SoFi, I don't know how long I have to look at this thing before. I did get in and out once. I'm like, I don't know, man. It feels like it's just going to run this level over at $5. However, there's 500,000 shares on the bid, and it just keeps on bouncing off 5, like 01s, 02s. You've been able to get some 3s and 4s. So as a day trader, I might just join this party a little bit. I also got a reload on NVIDIA. I said I'd rather be dip buying that in Micron, although I managed to miss Micron by a few cents for dip buys off these lows. But add SoFi to it. I think it's pretty clear if $5 breaks, I'm just going to get out. If I can, I might even just hit 5 instead of waiting for 5 to break to that downside. I didn't have Lucid today, but was looking at Tesla mostly and completely ignored. And we're not going to really talk about any other ones, so I might as well get this one out of the way. Not getting NEO short was kind of like, it was able to identify NEO was relatively weak. When some of these were breaking out, I'm like, oh, NEO's breaking 18 downside when Lucid and some of these others are going up. And we know Alibaba had a lot of weakness. So right now, I think the most important thing that I want to take away from NEO's trading today is I don't want this in my bucket of EVs for this week. I want to trade it in the bucket of Chinese companies, right? So if it's just going to be following along with those, I don't really care too much what Tesla's doing or any of the others. If I'm going to be looking at NEO, it is all about what happened in Alibaba today and some of the other Chinese names. Pinduoduo notwithstanding for the first 30 minutes, but then after it dropped just like everything else.
Neil, you're just mentioning this Atlas Motors, which is AMV, one of actually many IPOs this week. This one is actually related, I guess, in a weird way. So they make batteries for EVs, and EV infrastructure is how they describe it. But we sadly don't have it in our system today, but here's a look at what has happened so far. It's halted 30 and change, it looks like it opened, 30.09, 30.10, immediately goes to 39 and then halts. So that is AMV. Let's talk crypto. I can grab a BTC chart here and show you what has happened very quickly. There we go. This is a daily chart of Bitcoin. Big reversal candle developing on the daily time frame as well. We got above 20,000 as we were saying in the pre-market, but straight back down here to recent lows, guys, for BTC.
Yeah, so Coinbase, and I know Neil was looking at Square. We can look at that again. I mean, I assume that's fallen off the face of the earth as well, being down 0.5% here in the NASDAQ. So, you know, Coinbase was flying pretty high up to 67 in change. It's funny because I only really want to short Coinbase. I've been talking about how I don't want to own this thing. I don't. I mean, I do own it. I pretty much own almost all stocks, it seems like. Yeah, we got out of this one. I don't know how we were able to get out of this at $360. But this name has just been a disaster. And you know, whether or not you believe in crypto or not, I'm not excited about this business anymore. There's so many alternatives to Coinbase that I don't think that they have that sort of edge there. I mean, I know that they are integrating some of their opportunities to transfer crypto, like, you know, just on Amazon. They're not on here, but like, imagine on Amazon if you could log into like your Coinbase account and then pay with even if you paid with a stable coin or something like that, that to me, that would be advantageous, right? But instead, I don't really see that happening. There are a few, it's slipping my mind now because there are a few commerce websites, I think Overstock, and there's a few other ones that are out there where you can pay by logging into your Coinbase account. Definitely, we have Jordan Freed coming from NFT.com tomorrow, and obviously there's a lot of collaboration in that space as well, for sure, with Dapper Labs and things like that. But I don't know, I'm not in love with Coinbase, but as I look at this stock right now, you kind of got to be in love with the levels that we're showing you. It does have this great level here at 62. I mean, you're right there right now. If you like the long, for me, I'm long Google. That's in the money a dime right now. Apple's in the money 85 cents. I don't know if this is going to be a good one to go long on or not. I don't have that crystal ball, but for me, I don't really believe in the business, so I'm going to stay away. We were liking the 64 area there, but that broke like a hot knife through butter, didn't even stop, just took down 64, kept going. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't dance with that there. That was going to be a level, but obviously Brendan just showed you crypto. Since that's fallen down, man, I would honestly rather just put my money in Bitcoin, do some research, buy some ETH, something like that, and then go from there. I just, honestly, I don't trust Coinbase at these levels, and I just feel like there's too many alternatives to holding Coinbase as opposed to just buying the coin. You could buy that BITO, which is on exchange, which is an exchange traded fund. You could also buy that GBTC, and there's a bunch here in Canada as well. I want to steer away from Coinbase, so for me, kind of a no-fly zone. I probably shouldn't have even put it on the sticky note because I kind of knew I wasn't going to trade it.
Well, I knew I wanted to trade Square, and initially it was pretty good off support, but this is going to be another one of those cases where sometimes your out just needs to be a reversal. It wasn't. I'm not going to pretend that it was. I had the breakout at 56, that arrested itself at 57, and then bought the dip in front of the pre-market lows, got real greedy with it, and then you can see, once it took out the pre-market lows, it was more or less gone. Like, there was just no end in sight. It's like the exact point at which everybody probably had their stops. Coincidentally enough, that's going to be when things fell apart. It was right there just after we came off air. I did not make the reversal. We had a few shorts on, but at this point, I found myself without any of them, you can see, only in long positions. And it does happen. And this is, I want to come here because someone in the chat was like, yeah, you guys don't really look at the VIX. I tend to watch UVXY. I was saying that in the chat. Same principle. I understand where treasuries are at. But when the market comes down like this, there's usually a couple of things you can do. If you're in a bottom channel, you know, if you believe in the short, then you short off a level like this, and you're scalping weak equities into the lows, or you're going long off the bottoms off things that have support. As a day trader, I think both of those are valid. I don't think there's one's wrong or the other. Maybe it's psychological. I just find on days like today, we're usually looking for longs off those lows because you look at what the risk reward is sometimes. A bounce to VWAP looks pretty enticing, and that's why I'm in some of these. And SoFi is a bit different because it's just $5 and there's a bunch of shares on $5. So I got 01s. I'm going to get a bunch out in front of 505, and then I'm going to get back in the bid at 501 here. But we are getting a little bit of a bounce in the market as I say that. So here comes NVIDIA again. It just bounced off 123 again. So I'm going to continue to play that. If you were shorting the same levels, it's really giving you the same thing. You go 123.80 short, and you're working it back for about $1 to the downside. You pick your own poison, but I just like going these longs in front of these bids here. Crypto, I don't think I'll be trading Square off of these lows. That's not a stock I would want to bottom pick, to be honest with you.
All right, the grind continues here along session lows, but also at 52-week lows for both the S&P and NASDAQ in the area anyways. Watch this 3640 up through 3660 area for the S&P. Going to be very important. We were discussing in the pre-market, if you joined us, the importance of some big tech names this morning. And if the gains we had way back when in the pre-market were going to hold, it was going to require participation from this group. Here's the Amazon negative on the session now, down 1.3. Google, very similar, 1.1 right now. Apple trying to hold in positive territory, but they were among the first, Amazon and Google anyways, they were among the first to go back into the red, guys, which did not help the market today.
All right, we'll do that, and then we'll do this, which I'm not allowed to do. Lucas told us we can't hit them back to back once we
not yet.
Once we have the new
eventually.
system up. We're going to get some more pretty cool highlights coming through and on that system. So more gifts, more things like that. Thanks, Lucas. He'll be working on that, as will Fahad. The one that I want is I want a 92.5% free throw one. So it's
we
like
have a basketball
every time I have a trade, but I'm almost certain. I know, but it has to say 92.
Yeah, 92.
And it has to have Fahad there and everything so that we can remember that, because that's a great number to have. But the new trade alert right here is going to be AMD. We've already scalped out some on the downside here. We got short 90s or 89s on the board there, and that's it. I'm not going to average into it. I do have targets to go long through 67, which might happen right now. So we actually got out of it. Wow, look at Google start to go as well. Another dip buy in Google and then an out there at 10. So we just did this right now, 96.95 in, out there, 97.10. So 15 cents worth of a win there on Google. Plus, that's long. Plus, we scalp out some wins on the short here for AMD. So, wow, pretty awesome there that we're talking about big tech right now as AMD's trying to take out some of these levels and bouncing upside. And then there goes Google as well. So you don't get much bigger tech than Google. And right here, it's at the bottom of 97. So I'm just going to go long. And honestly, this is called the hope and pray. I mean, if it continues to go up, I'll just keep scalping it out. Every time we get to the 50 period, we failed it all the way down, fail there, tried to get back, so we got out in front of it, right? So that's what we're just gonna keep on doing. We're gonna keep on doing the same sort of concoction, the same potion, mix it up here, and if it just keeps on working, then we're just gonna keep on serving it to the market because they like it. We'll buy these bottoms and get out right there. Apple's been a pretty great name today. However, it is a name that I'm down on, but we're trying to correct that. Look at that bottom pick. I did this right on the midday show, and I talked about it. Went in the chat. Thanks to Bears vs. Bulls for that. Thanks to Prad. 150. I mean, Apple came right back. And again, you want to talk about big cap tech. I mean, Apple's right there, back down to 150. Look at that level for Apple, right? Be patient, man. We've had 150 come in before, right into here. 150 all there, 150 today. It wasn't actually much in here. There's a lot of back and forth. But talking about trading off of a key level, we'll do that 10 times out of 10. So Apple, we're long right now in the money $1 on that trade. As you guys can see, it did go way more in the money for us. It actually went up here to 150, 180. We should have gone out of that. That was almost $2. But wanted to see if we could test VWAP again. So that's what we're waiting for. It's a little bit of a greed situation for sure for me right now on Apple. But those are my tech plays. I like them. Let's just see if they can continue to work.
I want to say I'll give one shout out in the chat because it was, where are you right here? Someone just said, please remind me not to diddle in the middle. I was trying to find it in there if I can't find it. If you know who you are. So do not diddle in the middle.
Correct.
If you want that reminder, I find reminding ourselves of that is a fantastic one to do. The big tech name I want to talk about is, it was good for a bit, for like a second, and then broke down, and that is Meta. This is the relatively weak name of the bunch, and I'm not going to be trying to bottom pick on Meta here. I think if we're going to head to the downside, this could be the one that goes. At 137, I just felt like if it had held a higher low, then it really could have gone. Once it, again, another level, once it took it down for good, it really never looked back. You're looking at this 134 bottom, even on the lows here on Meta, that could get juicy. But since this broke the 150 floor, there's been one decent bounce day. I think looking for like the day it does a real bounce, I think there's going to be plenty of upside on Meta. So that's why I like the want and desire for each day to be that day and look for a setup that works, because I think you're at some point going to get one of those great bear market rallies on Meta. It's just not here yet. This 134 could go. We're pretty much on the lows right now. It's not even giving you as much as some of these other names, which are giving you sort of reasonable, like $1.50 bounces on $100 stocks off of these lows. You're not seeing that from Meta. It's bouncing 30, 40 cents off the lows. And 134, that could break and send those floodgates to the downside. I'm back on as the market comes back in, I'm back on the bit of SoFi, see if I can get a piece of that. But I won't be bottom picking this stock. If anything, I'll take a shot at a 134 break. As long as the market's making a fresh low, if the market's not making a low, I don't know if I like that, but yeah, Meta just looks incredibly weak to me. I'll take a shot at that short, as long as there's some kind of market momentum into the downside, which it feels like there will be.
And by the way, fail. I guess, yeah. Hey, what's up? I don't think we're failing right now. We'll hit the siren alert. Well, AMD failed, man. I mean, AMD right there failed at that 97, just dumped right back. Sorry, 67. I wish 97. Oh, man, when is AMD going to get back to 60, 97? Feels like it was just there 2 weeks ago. Oh, wait a second. It was just there 2 weeks ago. But there it is right there. We hit that. Now we shorted, came in. Look where we just got out. We got a decent chunk out right there at the 50 period. We're always going to try to hold it, and then we'll bitch about it that we got out too early. But honestly, like that's a good little price there, 66.75. So we taken out right there. I'm always sitting around the even numbers, 75 O's, 25s, 50s. Again, you guys know that. Oh, wow, Google. Okay, Google. This one's starting to bump up a little bit. Let's take an 06. There it is, if we can get that. Google did drop below 97 there. We got a piece out at 98, which was crazy. I don't know what happened there. That must have been a mistake, but there we go. Again, Google comes right back up, and we're trying to hit that one as well. So there's a nice little out for us on Google as it's starting to go back up. Again, we're only in the money 10 cents, but we're just doing as we said, man, just getting in and out of these positions as much as we can and just adding to our net. Like, this is kind of the way that I trade. Not make as many trades, but hit some key levels, make sure that you have them on, and this way, if AMD, which I think it can. Look at the market is now above the 50 period right now. I think AMD has a chance to go, but at the same time, man, I'm not convinced right now because the 50 period we've breached. It's all the way to the upside, right? AMD still not really willing to go. So we'll have to watch. There it comes, I mean, right back down. I'm going to take, there it is. Okay, I'm going to take another piece. Give me to me. Yeah, there it is. Let's go, man. It's like I said, bang! This is what's happening here every single day. We're loving these markets. We're trading them. AMD, let's go, man. Again, my number one stock today is Advanced Micro Devices. And that's even considering we missed that top there at 69, which is ridiculous. Not only that, we didn't even start shorting until just after 12 o'clock. So, I mean, the damage that we've been putting in on AMD continues. Look at that last out that we just had right there, man. Like, we just got out right down there, 72 when it cracked lower. So yeah, definitely taking advantage. And there goes the net. So I say thank you so much. And let's punch out again of Google, because there goes Google back up to the upside. Man, what a day. This is why I love this job. You never know what you're stepping into. And there it is, man. Google, okay. Thanks for that. We'll take that long and take 25 cents on that Google trade. Still in it, though.
Yeah, you're going to see I'm out of NVIDIA again. This is the one I'm going to keep taking out when it gets to this high. Bounce off 123. I'm out when it gets to resistance. I'll hold on to Micron. I think that's a bit of a better grinder. It's above VWAP. It looks relatively strong. So if something's going to break out, I want to be in the stronger name, but I'll jump right back on the bid down here in front of those 23s. There was just a question about the quote resumption time on that IPO. It's not in our system, so we can't trade it. I can't quote it for you, but you can always go to NASDAQtrader.com. They have a trade halt page up here. You'll see it has a quote resumption time, so it's just a volatility halt. The last halt, it would have been, usually it's about 5 minutes. If it doesn't open in 5 minutes, then it means it's a 10-minute halt. Very rare situations where you'll see anything more than that. But they already have a quote resumption, so it should be opening up any time now. Unfortunately, we actually can't look at it today, although, you know, sometimes these are good trades. I wouldn't be chasing it as high as it went. Be careful. As always, we say it all the time. No one ever went broke taking profits. Pay yourself out on these things, because as fast as they go to the upside, they can come screaming back down. So if I wasn't able to get the bid at 01s the second time through, that's the thing about sitting there passively, is it can go down to 01s, but it actually has to fill the bid at 01s for you to get that fill. So I wasn't able to reload on SoFi. Now it's heading right back to the upside. Just a simple $5 level on SoFi. And Meta doesn't break the top, but I'm kind of thinking to myself, do I want to just short off a 135 on Meta? If we're going to be in a bottom channel, and I think it's weak, if it creeps up there again and I want something short, it just touched, it'll be hard to see, but it just touched like 134.85 or so. It might be worth a shot. It's one of the weaker names out there. And I would like something. I am looking for something to go into the short side that isn't only Meta, or that I can feel comfortable with shorting at some of these lows here. Maybe this is the one. There's not a heck of a lot out there that you aren't shorting off the bottoms, however.
Yeah, we're still we're just going back and forth here on a chat, bless you, about trying to get verified. Like, if anybody has any it's not even about any tips or tricks, but like we're trying to get
Well, it
verified
is.
on
It's
YouTube,
just-
and it's like, or on YouTube, we're verified on YouTube. On Twitter or Instagram, it's like impossible. There's so many fake accounts out there, so just make sure that all of you guys, or girls, traders out there, make sure that you're following the right ones. And we should all have, we have different handles on Instagram, but on Twitter, it's TraderTV Neil, Sean, Brendan, and of course our main account. If you go over and follow our main account, then you know, you'll be hooked up with all of us. So, but anyways, just, that sucks. Like, they just got denied. Our main account just got denied again. Like, I don't know what else we're supposed
That
to do.
doesn't even make any sense, man.
I mean,
All we
I don't know whether or not
do,
it makes sense or not.
No, all we can do is come out here,
Right.
give you guys a fantastic show every single day for free, and do our best. And you know, the
Yeah,
rest is
just
up
trying
to
to see
the.
if there's anybody has any sort of tips or
Which
tricks.
they
but
might. It would be great
within
if
just
they
a couple minutes. Oh, there we go. We did
Market
flip
up
long.
bump
So
again.
yeah, right now, new position alert. Good thing we got out of our AMD down there at that low side, but now we flip over to the long side here. And we're going to put some orders out in the 20s and the teens. Right now, we are long at 06. Right now on AMD. There it goes. We take some 13s, some 14s. Now we're starting to get out. Oh, Nelly. Look at that out on Apple. Bang right there. This is what we're talking about, baby. This is what we're doing. Congratulations. If anybody has that on Apple, we're ringing registers. We're taking names right now. What a great out for us on Apple. Right back there to 151.70. That's I mean, for me, that's a great trade. 150.20 out right there, 151.70. We wait. And by the way, this is how you take names and ask questions later on AMD. There's the rip to the north side there. We talked about taking that break. Bang, bang, bang. Right there. Awesome right there for AMD. Love you very much, AMD. Yeah, this name just keeps on going. This is my number one name. We're going to keep trading that. I talked about that earlier. Here we go again, man. We're on one again. Google. Look at Google go. Holy shnikes. If you're following any other traders, message me who they are. This has been a great move to the upside. Look at Google go from here, man. Reloaded, boom, upside on Google. Now we just wait, man. AMD continues to go. I'm Scalp City on these names, man. Let's get some of these out. This, again, that's the strategy. Take more shares, get it out when it starts to pop, hold on for that home run. We are monstrous again here today. Look at AMD, guys. This is the thing. I sit here and watch this name. When it starts to ramp up like this, someone's in there. Look at this, 36s, 37s. I mean, we just bought this name. Look at it start to go. Look at Google start to go right now. We are bouncing off those lows. The S&P hit that 3630, bounce City up straight, 30 handles, which is awesome, Neil, because we have a very special guest coming through in a couple minutes to talk about the market. I'm wondering if he might have just hit the buy key because the market just rallied back to Greensville.
Algos went by there. I mean, stocks that were trying to languish there definitely got off the low. So Meta just chewed right through 135. No curl, no short. But we got a good bounce in Micron. I'm going to try to hold Micron for the high of the day. The resistance I have on the stock is 50-60, so it gets up there. I'll take it out to be sure. SoFi is bouncing because everything else is bouncing. Yeah. I didn't want to bottom pick on Square, and obviously I should have, but you just saw everything break out right now. So I think even names like this that I kind of felt poor about are looking like they want to break. And this is what we're getting at. And it's not to say that it's right or wrong to try to bottom pick. But sometimes when you get a depressed level like that and you get support, you just want to take a shot long in front of it because truth be told, you know, regardless of what you decided, whether it was AMD or Micron or NVIDIA or Apple, or I haven't even looked at Tesla in the last couple of minutes, or Tesla, if you were long off the low, your risk to reward is pretty decent. Like you could be risking in Tesla, you're risking about $1, you're halfway to VWAP, that's $2. It's the same thing with NVIDIA. Meta probably falls in that category. Amazon, they're all going to look like this. So when you find that support, it's perfectly worthwhile. As a day trader, long SoFi 01s, the worst price that you're getting, if you really screw it up, maybe you end up with 98s on a break of $5, but really you should be out at 99 or even at 5. So you're risking 1 or 2 cents. And if it gets to VWAP, then it's popping 10. So we'll see what happens. If it comes back down, I'll keep going long in this. The market looks like it wants to find some support. And remember, the NASDAQ is green right now.
Woot, woot. Yeah.
I mean, the ES isn't, but the NASDAQ is.
No, yeah, ES still down that 0.16.
You know,
Nah, I saw someone in the chat.
Someone said something?
Yeah, they said turn that bull into a bear. I say nepa to that. I mean, look, we were short, man. We made great money short today. There's no doubt about that. My biggest AMD trade and these Google trades here, picking this bottom. Like, look at this. This is how you get out of the way of Google and why you want to wait for further discussion on this, right? Fahad, just come over to the screen here just quickly. This is Google right now, right? Look at us buying these dips at 98. This was the bottom, right? 98.50. We bought them, we got out 99.40 right there. Then as it came back down, we averaged one last time. I mean, look at all of these wins. These are 30, 40 cents, 20 cents, whatever they are. They're still cash. Then all of a sudden, it dips back down to 98. There's that 98.60. There's our out at 98.50. So we lose, let's call it, I don't know, 15 cents with slippage there. And now look at what the kind of damage that we're doing on the upside. So just be very specific, be very patient, and let the winners be yours as you continue to trade. So we did get out of, is there 2 outs there on Google? No, there's only 1. We got 2 outs on AMD. We got more than 2 outs on AMD up there when that started ripping. You saw me started hitting the keys basically like a maniac as we approached near VWAP one more time. So let's get some more Google out here. But we are now, Neil, minutes away from our special guest.
Seconds away.
Here in the afternoon.
Yeah, we're definitely seconds away. But Super SPAC Man, and thank you in the chat for asking this. And I might have misinterpreted when I answered because you asked about scalping on Netflix. And I think you might have meant short. If you meant the long, anything off those lows just now gave you that opportunity. That's come and gone. Like, we just got a big spike up. But you might have meant, because I have a 3-minute up as well, you might have meant, is it worth scalping this short on Netflix? Relatively weak, negative, 223.5. That's actually not a bad idea. Like, if that's what you're looking for, like right here, 50 cents worth of risk, see if it comes back to the lows. If you favor the short, there's nothing wrong with that. Just to add a little bit to that, you're essentially testing the 50 period. There was a close below, just barely on the 50 period there. So you're at a pretty key inflection price on Netflix. If it gets through here, you kind of feel confident that you made a bottom. If we hold this low, it gets pretty ugly. But yeah, not a bad look. I'm assuming you meant that short. If I'm wrong, then longs off the bottom have been the plays for pretty much everything the last little bit. It is 2:45. We promised it. I think we have a little something of a treat for you guys because it's Tuesdays with Tony.
Funding secured.
Tuesday with Tony.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought we got the black screen of death there, but it's normally the blue screen of death. All right, Tony, do we have Tony's camera? He's over there at Sharif's desk. There he is. What's up, Tony?
Hey
How
there.
are things? And by the way, sweet hair, my man.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Neil. And it's good to be back. Crazy markets we've been seeing these days is absolutely incredible. Hope your guys' day trades have been better than my long-term investments because this market has, it's not a choppy market today, kind of. In the past couple of trading sessions since Jackson Hole, I think nothing can really characterize this move as much as a vertical drop. We had a bit of I think a bounce pre-CPI number and a bit of a spike on the JPOW announcement. But besides that, just a pretty much vertical move down here for the rest of the markets. I think NASDAQ now about to turn red for today. Incredible since we've been up, I think, close to 2% this morning. The markets, I think, just a very, very unusual time as we head into, a weird monetary policy now. I think with the terminal rate being priced in at 4.5% to 5%, at least in the U.S. And, it's obviously been hurting pretty much all asset classes, stocks, I think, being one of the most hard hit. But even if you take a look at, gold, silver, it's been hurting everywhere, I'd say. Silver doing a little bit better than gold. Gold, 1630, I think, on spot at the moment. We haven't seen these levels since pretty much COVID. So it's been absolutely crazy. I hope you guys have been making great trades. I think times like these, really do emphasize the benefit of being in and out of positions quickly, rather than holding a long position, when the economy isn't really doing so hot. How have your guys' trades been doing today, and what are you guys looking at the moment?
Longs off the bottom. You said it, you nailed it right there, Tony. The advantage of scalping in this kind of a market, because when you've gotten to these lows, well, if it doesn't break the low, there's only one place to go, and that's bouncing off the bottom. So that's all I'm looking for here, with the exception of Meta. I thought I might have just missed the opportunity to get Meta. It broke. I was looking at 135 because it's a round number. That was stupid. But this one's been relatively weak, Tony. I know some of the names you like to beat up on and pick up value where you see things are maybe oversold. But in big tech, I don't know that I'll show the daily. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else which is giving you that more than a meta here. The trend has been pretty strong to the downside. It hasn't really held any support yet. At some point, you got to feel like it's going to be incoming. Anything on big cap tech that you're looking for to buy some dips out there?
Funny you should mention that. First of all, no, I totally agree with your meta take. It's crazy just how far this name fallen from grace. I think this is now down close to, what, 2/3 of its value from the peak back in September, which was just over a year ago, actually. I was seeing, I think the news came out today. Well, who was it? How am I forgetting his name? Mark Zuckerberg actually didn't make the Forbes top 10 this year, the first time in a very long time since the value of Meta plummeted now. I think he's at 57 billion, pretty close to the 10th place, but yeah, a very, very extreme fall from grace here. Meta, I think now at close to a 11p ratio. Again, this company did something like 117 billion in revenues last year. Now advertising's hit it, taking a huge hit, along with a lot of other stocks like Google actually also falling quite a bit. But I totally agree. I think this is a very undervalued security at the moment. We're back to where we were pretty much as early as pretty much 2017. We were at these levels in February. We were lower than we were back in the bottom of COVID. So it's pretty mind-boggling just how far Meta to me has fallen. And as for a name I'm looking at the moment, I think Adobe is I wouldn't call it a mega cap stock, but this is another stock that I was holding actually. I took a huge loss on this one. We're talking with Fahad, I think me and Sean discussing their buyout of a Figma, I think just a few weeks ago for $20 billion market. Very much didn't like that. I don't think Adobe is a company that has too much cash on hand to make a transaction like this. When the terminal rates priced in as around 4.5% to 5%, and so this stock was $450, I'd say, back in the middle of August. So in about 1 month's time, this stock is down over 40%, around 40%, and I'd say that's absolutely crazy to just consider. I was in this stock, 100 shares, at 311. I got out 283. That's was that $2,800 loss in the span of about a week. I learned my lesson from it. Don't over leverage, especially not in this market. Adobe at the moment is at 27p ratio. Not a very strong balance sheet, I should mention, pricing as a growth stock. This stock pretty much went from 100 back in 2016 to 700, the peak of last year. It's now back to, down about the same. Meta was down from the same time. I think if you want to go into a stock like this long term, like with Meta, you might see a lot of value, I'd say. But certainly, I think we're in a very turbulent time at the moment. So I wouldn't really go into a lot of these, big stocks at the moment. If you were to buy a stock, I'd definitely say having a P ratio is important, having free cash flow is important. But even so, that might not be enough to receive real gains in this market with just how hard it is to grow. But yeah, that's my take on a lot of these large cap names. It's just a very difficult market to see any sort of growth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, and I like that analysis. I've been buying Meta for a very similar reason there. The PE is just so low on that name that it's just very, very attractive for that. But Tony, everybody in the chat is very much loving your new look. So I'm going to say congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Looking very, very sharp, my man, right there. Okay, let's be a little bit lighter right now. AMD, by the way, just ripped. Like, we're really having a great time here. One more time on the show. But, okay, just have some fun. So you're working tonight at the Blue Jays game, correct?
Yes, I am.
So what's that like there? I mean, it must be pretty hyped the last couple of days. We have Aaron Judge looking to break the AL record. Are you noticing, is there a lot more fans coming to the Jays game now? How's that looking there at the Rogers Center?
Yeah, it's been incredibly busy as I think the Jays pretty much clinched the postseason. We're going to have wild cards, I think, at the next week. I think we might be against Tampa Bay. Can't confirm on that, just the rumor I heard. But yeah, Aaron Judge, I think he went 6 games now without a home run. So we're trying to, I see a lot of Yankees fans at the Rogers Center or the Sky Dome, what you call it. So, I think a lot of even the Blue Jays fans want to see him break that record. They want to see the Jays win, obviously, but also to break the record, be something historical. But yeah, no, it's very busy these days. It's a great time, and it's the end of the season. So I think a lot of fans are, trying to catch up on baseball as much as they can, before fall comes in and, the next season and it's playoffs and, the next season then starts. But yeah, no, it's a great time working there and couldn't be happier to be there.
Well, I certainly hope that we get to see you because I'm pretty sure a couple of fans sit at this desk for the Jays. So when they play that wild card game on the 7th, they may or may not be at the game. We'll say what's up to you. I'm hoping Judge does it tomorrow because I'm not going till tomorrow.
Oh, I see.
So don't do anything, Aaron. Just hang out for a bit.
Couldn't he set the record
He could
tonight
tie
and
it.
then tie it tonight and then break it tomorrow?
Yeah, so that'll be fine, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Tony, I'm just going to point this out because this was true since you've come back on here, and I happen to have Micron up, but it's the market as well. So as Tony was talking, can you come to my chart for a second if you can? Can we go to my chart?
Tony's blowing his market up.
No, but like this is as Tony was talking. Tony stops talking on a 3-minute chart. We then bounce back to the downside. Went back to Tony, and now we're bouncing back to the upside. Like that is the level of influence that Tony can have positively on the market. So maybe we'll just have to keep you around. Every time we need, forget about the plunge protection team. Like when we need the market to go up, maybe
that's why we brought him in.
We should just bring Tony in, and all he has to, you got to keep talking though, because if you stop, well, then suddenly the market decides it wants to fall back in. That's a lot of pressure, but I'm sure you can handle it. No?
Yeah, possibly. Well, it's interesting times for the markets for sure, and no, I don't think I have that much influence on the market. But that, no, you're definitely right. It's interesting spike we've been seeing the last 5-10 minutes. So hopefully, if you're in a long position, by all means, I'll stay on if that's what helps. But sort of take it away just a moment. The one other thing I just want to mention actually here is we've been seeing a crazy short squeeze on the U.S. dollar, if I might call it that. Dollar index now at a 20-year highs, weighing against all asset classes measured against the dollar. I'm not sure if you guys are in the mood for traveling anytime soon, but we're pretty close to being at parity against the British pound. We hit 103.5, I think, during the Asian session their Monday morning or Sunday evening. So if you guys actually want to, travel to Europe, travel, anywhere. Oh wait, I forgot. We don't hold U.S. dollars. We hold Canadian dollars. We are at 72 cents against the U.S. dollar now. I need to ask for a raise. Actually, I want my salary pegged to the U.S. dollar.
That's right.
Just because of how much we've fallen.
That's right. You know, about 4 years ago or so, I actually spoke around here, and I was like, I want to get paid in Bitcoin. That was denied, but getting paid in U.S. dollars, Tony. As we trade, of course, we use U.S. dollars. So good point on that one. But yeah, holding CAD right now, not a great idea. Tony, thank you so much. Exactly. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're a busy guy there. So let's try to keep the tradition going. Tuesdays with Tony. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, I like that thumbs up, too. Let's run the bumper and get this guy out of here. It's Tuesdays with Tony. Thank you, my friend.
Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Oh, there it is. That was a little slow.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit, Tony. They've got Prad's beat for you.
You got
now,
to keep
baby.
the beat going, man.
There we go. All right, get Tony out of here. He's got to go back and work, man. We'll keep this beat going here for ourselves. This is Prad's beat. Instead of getting beat down in the market, he is making new beats. So there we go. That's a good beat, but apparently Fahad's already talked about it. He ripped it. I'll wait. I'll address this concern with Prad. Where he got this from, and so on and so forth. But we need to be like, bang. That's where it needs to come in. Like, I picked my daughter up yesterday from dance, and by the way, like, they both have swimming lessons and everything tonight, and I forget what it was. I mean, obviously, I don't listen to explicit lyrics, but I think it was a Drake song or something like that. And then when the beat came in, she was like, oh yeah.
They know.
And I was just like, Daddy really likes the beat. And she's like, yeah, me too. I like that beat. And so that's what that track is missing. It's missing that beat. You know what I mean?
He's teasing us. It's
right.
The intro,
it's like, what's
man.
next?
Trust me, you're gonna
give me something hard.
And when it does drop, like when it drops like a year from now, because he made that one 2 years ago, it's gonna be that super hot fire.
Yes.
But what is super hot fire is something called a rider system. Rider System Inc. Up 13%. It was just halted to the upside and then gapped up again. It looks like Apollo was considering taking a stake. So another day, another afternoon of takeover chatter. Like, I don't know how many times. We get like 2 of these every single afternoon show where you get a big run to the upside. And you can always start talking about like what do premiums look like. Maybe it should be a little bit. It's only bounced like 10%. 13%, a little bit more than that, but some of the premiums you've been seeing have been a little bit better on most of the deals here. But this is just takeover chatter. It's already up and just sitting right in the middle of its range on the daily. You're right at the 50 period, the 200 period moving average for this name. and might have been an opportunity on the reopen. Looks like it could have got a little spike into 77, but that's already back down in. It is just chatter.
Do we know what they do?
There's no actual. I was about to look it up.
Okay, yeah,
I was in the middle of looking it up, and then I just wanted to make sure because it opened back up on me. But yeah, I was about to check.
Rider system.
I've never heard of them. So.
Yeah, no, the only reason I ask is because sometimes you do get that pull from other names, right? Like names in the same space. We had that Kino there the other day getting, Humana, and then we saw, I think it was Oshkosh run up because of that.
Transport?
So that would make sense. Rider in the transport systems. Okay, yeah. Industrials, renting and leasing.
Company.
Yeah, renting and leasing services. So yeah, okay. We'll just continue to look at that. All right. Some of you asking, is it too late to get on to that AMD train? Yo, what's up to everybody there? What's up, David Allen? Yeah, we'll look at Rumble there for you guys in a minute. Tilray, Ryder Trucks. Yeah, we should have known that. Now that you're thinking about it, that's right there. U-Haul, they rent trucks. Okay, cool. Tony's new look reminded me of Lindenberg. Okay, yeah, Ooh. Tony's new look there. But no worries there. Thanks, Tony, for that coming through. You want to talk about AMD a little bit? I mean, we already busted that long, and we got a gray print there at 67.40, 43, which was VWAP. So I couldn't, like I said, man, I just can't be happier with the trading there. Long, shorted out, reverse. We only had less than half left. Reversed it into the long, and then just hammered it to the long side there, the number one name for me today. And then look at this name as well. Is it too late for Google? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is too late for these moves, man. I mean, Google, when it was down, like I was sitting at my desk as we got this trade, and I talked about this trade and sort of the risk management involved there. We went 8-1, remember, on our AMD trade, and this one's maybe even more than that. But now, well, it can't be more than that, but it's close. Up to 97.60 right now off of, I mean, we're long below 97 right now. We're long at 96.96 there. We literally had 10 cents worth of risk to now see 70 cents worth of gains. So yeah, like I said, we're definitely feeling the market right now. That rider did open back up to relatively muted response. I mean, it's a great response here, up 15%, but it's not one of those like HKD events here. Remember, nothing wrong with share structure or anything. This is a real company. So, but they're going to have to go to where they've been before, and that's kind of what they're doing. If you look at a daily chart, again, I'm surprised there's this much volatility, but that kind of makes sense in the trucking business. I mean, with supply chain and all that kind of stuff, nicely done. But again, no surprise that someone's looking to pick up a name like this as it's near or at its 52-week lows. Close enough anyways. Down here, it was at 65 bucks. Now you're up to 77. I would think that a board or anything like that would want this stock at least back up here, like $86 to $88, something like that. So I believe there is a runway for this story if it is indeed true. I don't have experience knowing like what a major industrial name like this would get bought out for. It's not a biotech name, or you're not paying for technology or anything like that. So I don't know, but a nice 15% bump up here for Ryder, and I'm going to stay away as we enter right now Power Hour.
And now that we're in Power Hour, obviously we're talking some trades here. I kind of gave you guys a hint that I still think that respect of a 50-60 on Micron for the short has to be in. I was long, so that just means I'm going to get out. It got to 40s, couldn't quite break for 50, 40, 45 or so, and now curls back in. Because it's above VWAP and relatively strong, it put in a firm bottom. As the market kept grinding lower, it just actually bounced higher and higher. So I've been longing in front of 50. I'll go back to that well. I think I should have reversed it and even just shorted off the top as well. If we get back up there, I'm going to start shorting in front of 50-50 with a 50-60 stop. SoFi, maybe there's not going to be another chance to see that $5. It did get up to 10s and now starting to pull back in as the market slides back down. I mean, every time we go up, there's a bit of a curl and a bit of a fade. There's your, there's your curl. There's the pullback. It's why you pay yourself. Micron, fine. It's above VWAP. That's why I want to hold it. But even that, SoFi in front of 5. It's just an even $5. That's why I want to hold it. But even that, if it breaks 5 even, I'm going to be out of this. I want to reload if I can, but this market does want to play inside of the range. Meta, it's now above that 135. It's got a nice, decent channel on it. I think I want to start thinking about some shorts here in Meta. I didn't jump at the 35 because you can see how violent that candle was. We just went screaming through it. There was no slowdown whatsoever. And now it looks like it's established. off of this level here from about noon, you got a 135.75. So any pops, I'll take my shots over there at Meta, but there's going to be some reload opportunities coming in. Micron at 50. NVIDIA is not close, but it's about 50 cents away from me getting back into that as well.
Oh, man. All right, so yeah, what happened? What happened there?
Something awfully green next to me, by the way.
Ooh, go to that camera if you have it there, Fahad.
Right.
We'll do that in a minute. We'll have take a quick look at that green screen. Randy, you got a haircut too. Did you go back to our man over there? Of course. What, during your work hours?
No.
No, never, right, Randy?
Buzz it yourself.
Randy, how did you not have that haircut earlier, but now you have it now? Just playing around, obviously. But I want you to see this. I mean, all these guys doing so much work around here. Do we have the shot? When
It's lining it up.
You can't really see it there.
Oh, because it's all washed
you can
out.
sort of see the green right there. That's kind of the green right there where I'm pointing. But anyways, we're going to have a monstrous green screen posed out over there, and it's going to be amazing. So we're super excited about all the work, and I want to just thank everybody. Thank Randy, Mark, Rob, everybody over there on the other side that's just been working so hard. And Rob apologized to me while we were getting a coffee. He's like, sorry about all that noise. And then we kind of joked, and he said, well, we'll just make sure we do it on the midday show. And I was like, exactly. So that was good on that one. But again, thank you to everybody for putting up with all that. The show's about to go next level, trust me, on that one. So we're really, really super happy for all the work that's been done around here. But okay, on that note, and unfortunately, I hope that someone heard me say, what was up with that? Because you're seeing right now, okay, we reloaded it. We got those diamond hands. We're trying to anyways. We'll see what we can do with AMD. So there it is. It just went up to 16 and we didn't take it out. We'll take a piece out now at 10. There's the reload. We got 96s. I mean, let me check my price. It might be 97 or 98s there. 97. So we got a 97 dip by there. And I'm just trying to go against this 200 period, which is 66.70. Remember, this break, I mean, when you rip up there, you have to take profit. We talk about that over and over and over again. So taking that profit back up to the upside, nicely done. Really loving this opportunity here. So let's go with AMD. Nicely done to the upside. We'll wait to see if it can cook itself a little higher than this. Google also did pull back, but I'm not near a reload spot on Google. I will look for some shorts. There's no doubt about that. But right now, kind of just obsessed with the long because we've been buying some of this, and the futures right now dipping off that 50 period right now as well. So I still feel like there's something more to happen now with this market. You're just dancing around like we're flat on the day. The S&P 500 is down 1/4 of a point. And if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. Like, that's the one thing that, you know, Neil, myself, and our whole team here really rely on it, man. I mean, maybe you guys didn't like, if you like Tuesdays with Tony, let me see how many likes we have right now. Because honestly, Tuesdays for Tony is at least a 3,000 like day. And right now, what?
700, 800. That's where we were yesterday at this time.
Wow, speechless. And maybe that's what it takes to get me to shut up finally is a low like count. 885, not happy with that one. All right, well, maybe we'll have to figure out what Tuesdays with Tony. Maybe Tuesdays with Tony brought the ratings down, man. I don't know.
Denied.
I'm denying that too. I find that very,
there's 4,700 people
very
watching.
hard to believe. We'll ring the register
watching.
again. We'll just go bang. We're just playing around. Don't hit the like button if you don't want to, but that would be really nice if you could. But I'm going to hit this one because, again, it is a contractual obligation for myself to do that. There goes AMD. We just got 19s out on AMD, so that's another 25-cent scalp right there for that one. Let's see what happens now to the upside with AMD. Remember where our downside is. And again, not averaging in anymore. That was just on that dip. If it comes back in, maybe we'll look at something around 66.80 around here, but I'm definitely going to respect the 66, this 200 period, because that's right where that dip started to happen, right? If you break that back down below 6666 there, then I'm going to get out. Ominous number, but that is the number. It's right here, 6666. Wow, that's going to be my out there right at the 200 period. On the 1 minute. I know, crazy. Who uses a 200 period on a 1 minute chart? But I do.
A couple of things here that are moving that I want to get to. Someone said you're not going to talk about Rumble. Rumble with a good bounce off the lows. I mean, a lot of things bounced off the bottom. Still down on the day, and I can see that's a good capitulation bottom if I've ever seen it. You've now you're making a test. You got right back into the lows since the turnover and made a wick bottom off of it. Now you're testing the previous lows. It needs to get through 12, I think, but it's a pretty good start for a name that's been beaten up. And then Yeah, there's something else at the high of the day, and it is GME.
I was going to say HKD.
Well, you know what? I haven't checked
Neither
HKD
have
today,
I.
so maybe
Someone
it's at its
posted
high. But GameStop is at the high of the day, and it's been on a tear since we sat down here. Now, I double checked, and it's like 1 cent a share to short. I am looking for opportunities. If we're going long off some of these bottoms, and there's opportunities off these tops. There's a wick off top at about 26.30. I just look at this and say, if I can risk 10 to 15 cents and it goes down to VWAP, I like the shot at it. So you'll see me on the offer there. And I don't want to ignore Tesla either. So Tesla bounces off of that 277 or so, 78 area, through 280 on the 3-minute, it'll look a little bit better. Through 280 on that huge volume spike, and now supporting 280. So I don't want to chase this move up here, but maybe add Tesla wasn't on my list because for the dip buys, I just liked a few names better. They were in the chip space, both of them. But I look at this 280, and if we get a dip down into 280, I'll try to rinse and repeat that. I did just get a GameStop, but I'm getting out if it breaks the high of the day. Brendo?
This rider move seeming short-lived a little bit, guys. Here's JBHT, another one that got a bid off of that R move. You can see some volume came in on the same time. Starting to break back downside, though. I just saw a big alert again on JBHT.
So there you go. So there's another, like we talked about. Thanks, Brendan, for that, bringing out some names to us there on possible remarks for Rider. Nice little move up there for Rider. If you're a Rider shareholder, alert to that. If you might. The only time you'll ever hear us talk about Rider.
Well, there's another circumstance.
There is another.
When I'm discussing Paw Patrol, because
Rider, the Paw Patrol dude. Yeah, I like. That's so old. What we used to Sky is one. Rider. Let me see if I can remember. Rubble.
There you go.
Rubble's another one.
Come on, man. He's on the case.
Right, Chase is on the case.
You can tell we have kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. Isn't Rider the dude?
Rider's the guy. He's like he's the human, the not talking dog with powers. The thing that always gets me is it's Marshall.
And my kids never question that.
It's Marshall with the water cannon, man. Like
Yeah,
he's got this little tiny pack on, and then like it's unlimited water that comes out of it. I'm just like, can you just try a little bit harder?
Bro, I mean, you're. What do you mean? You love superheroes.
I know. It's just
science fiction. The funny thing is, like, the kids never question it. It's just like, it's like, oh, that's a superhero dog, obviously.
It's fine.
Yeah, so
dogs
yeah.
talk, sure.
So that is a good point. That is maybe when we'll talk about it, but probably never again now.
No.
So right there, bye-bye to Ryder, but a good name on that one. All right, so meanwhile, let's go, man. We'll put some thumbs up to everybody watching Paw Patrol and everybody with kids. Shout out to all the trading dads and moms out there. You guys are the real heroes, man. Taking care of your kids and trading and having part-time jobs and all of that. I mean, that's really where the hero is. Just like I say to my wife, like, you know, the fact that I get to come here to work every single day and then come home and everything is like taken care of. The food is amazing. Everything is awesome. My kids are awesome. She's awesome. So it's very, very lucky. Some people not blessed with that, but I guess I pick the right one. So that, you know, makes me really happy for sure. And I hope that everybody has similar luck with their significant other or not in general, but whatever. So there it is, a nice little move to the upside right there for this. But I did want to show you AMD. That's what we're talking about. There's the reload on the dip buy. And again, when a name cracks like that and just comes back to a level that I'm happy with, look, sometimes it's hindsight. You look back and you're just like, okay, I'll buy it, right? But that just stopped right at a key level. I didn't have that much time to analyze it. I just saw it break through 67 and literally just hit the buy key. The price I got was actually like a part fill, not a part fill, part price. It was in the middle of 96 and 97 there, so fractional fill there. But we got the shares we wanted, busted it up to the upside, and now we're still holding. We're always holding a piece of this, which is why you have the average price of 67, but it's a nice little move back up to the upside on that one. Also, Google not messing around as well, as that one ripped up that 50 cents, came back. We did get a piece out. We did not buy that Google bottom because we were waiting a little bit lower. And again, I knew I didn't have any AMD bids out, so that's the difference there with Google. It's 312 right now. The market is now positive, but you are, I don't know, man. I really do. Honestly, I kind of hate that diddle in the middle terminology, to be honest with you, because I think we use it a lot, but it makes sense. And it's just, I think as far as a trading strategy goes, like right now, this is where we're at. So I think you got to find names that are moving. So maybe it is time to go for some small cap names, some runners right now. I see that
I'm looking for
AMV.
them,
Someone, are you on AMV?
Well, the problem is
someone just
that's
said
the IPO. It's not in our system. We don't have it
Oh, it's not in
today,
our
so
system. I was going to say someone just mentioned that.
we got to take it in just to make sure it's there for tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
why I went to GameStop, because I saw it running. I'm like, okay, well, GameStop up at the high, give it off that top. If it breaks, fair enough. Rumble's not bad either. I was looking at that as well. Like, it's just this $12 level. Like, I want to say it has a chance to go, but when you get to previous resistance like this, I just see, with as weak as it's been, if the market tries to roll over again, I could definitely see Rumble giving it up at this 12 to chase along. It's already come this far. Like, that's a pretty, like 60, 70 cents off the bottom already for $12 stock. That's pretty impressive, and it's still down on the day. Brendo?
Another one that was day one today, we talked about briefly this morning, guys, that Livewire, LVWR, Harley-Davidson's EV division, de-SPACs to not a lot of fanfare. We got that initial halt when it opened this morning, but wow, this thing went to sleep in a hurry now at $9.
Yeah, always be careful with those. It's like it's just like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. Sometimes you do get that initial spike, and then there's a bit of a fade in there. That's pretty much exactly what happened at 9:30. The exuberance came in. You got a great wick off top, or wick top there through 11:20. I've been sort of dying a slow death ever since. I'm looking over at Tesla. I said I don't want to chase Tesla up at 82. I want to wait for it to come back down into 280. It's getting really tempting, because now it seems like it wants to maybe hold this channel. The risk reward is not terrible. Like, if you got 25s, you're only risking 20 cents, but it's about to pull back now. So if we get one more dip, I'll give it that chance to break 82s and come back in to a better price here. Micron is now near that high. I said I'm looking for something to short. It dipped down. I was sitting at like 50.08. It dipped and went to like 50.13, so the buy-off VWAP, we're going to miss this one on Micron. I still want to short off the high of the day. Micron, as long as it's below 50.60, I want to be shorting this thing. So gets a few pennies higher, I'll take my shot shorting off the top.
We'll do this again. We'll go, whoa. Oh, I want to give a big thank you. I don't want to miss this super chat, because I think that was a pretty cool moment as well. Thank you to Soldier for Christ here. Nice dad moment, being able to name all the characters of Paw Patrol. Respect for all the kings here. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for everybody as well. Big Paw Patrol watcher here for some of these guys on there. But thanks for all that, man. Yeah, let's go as we go. Thank you for all the support, man. And thank you for all the new traders that are here watching us. And on that note, let's spin this one more time, because you can't afford Netflix unless you make some money, or you have that ad-supported tier, which apparently is only $5 less. I'd always pay $5 and avoid watching ads. I hate watching.
Cheap, man.
I hate watching ads. Anyways, there's AMD. Look what happened, and like. Again, it's not really, I'm not trying to trade rocket science here. Like, if it was, I would be failing. I know nothing about rockets or science. But trading, I mean, this is pretty good, man. This is why I draw these lines. Like, sure, they look nice. They're pretty funky colors there. But it goes right back up to VWAP, and then there's a take again at 67.42. So it's a nice out for me. Now we're pretty light on the rest of this. We get the fill that we wanted to. We were just talking about, that saying again, that we were in the middle there. So if we ever had something spike up to any sort of a level that, we wanted to respect, we're going to get out of that. So again, we talked about, and it's about like sort of practicing as you preach, right? We led this afternoon show
ATXI is going to halt down.
Go ahead. Yeah. I mean, if you have that, I was just going to talk about AMD.
They just rug pulled this ATXI. It's been doing absolutely nothing. I saw someone talk about it in the chat, but tank into VWAP, it just halted. Should be just standard volatility halt. This one was primed to do it. It kept getting to $10 over and over again, and then no one could push it through. It just could not push through 10. Eventually, enough sellers came in. It's still up 140%, right? This is that reverse split. Just a few days ago, he had that reverse split and then took out some recent highs. Got a little bit of chatter this morning. I understand that it was some other people on social media that were hyping this one to the upside. And it held up pretty nicely, I got to admit. I didn't pay for locates because they were way too expensive for a $10 stock. I think you're paying 75 cents for locates and probably even more now. Should be open in about 5 minutes here, ATXI.
ATXI, yeah, I mean, a good little rug pull there. Always great to be able to watch that. I mean, that's why we're here trading. I did get another piece out of AMD as we took the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. Now, of course, it's ripping back up. Another small piece, but we did take another one out. Now we just, now we're just watching to see what happens here to go to the long side. But what I was sort of saying there was just having the ability to switch it up. And I know, and I understand that some of us on PDT, we can't do this, and I get it, but we were long, switched into the shorts, got the longs again, tested the short there, actually made money on that short, then took the long once we broke through 67 and have been hitting that again. So it's just having the ability to switch up your mind on some names, but let's go over to some other ones right now. One name that, and this is another name that I'm actually red on. There's two names today I'm red on. Apple and then Starbucks. And here's the Starbucks take. So, wow, Starbucks, really? I guess the market just tanked. Like, I thought that we could hold. Look, this 85 right there, we came down from an 86.50 top, made that bottom there at 85, then went right back to 85.80. I tested that right there, as you guys can see. I can zoom in here a little bit. This is the funny thing about it. Like, this is how I trade again. In here, right, 85.15, basically right at that bottom. And once it breaks, I was in at 85.20, 22 there. Once it broke that bottom, and I should have given it to 85 now that I see it. I actually thought I did. But we got out at 85.14 the minute it broke that bottom. So that was literally like, and it's just turning out that it looks good right now. This could have been a disaster because it could have easily stopped there and then popped back up. But this is how you kind of get out of the way, right? When these levels that you're trying to support have broken, then you just get out of the way and then you watch it do this. Like, I didn't realize Starbucks went down to $83 today. Starbucks was one of those names. Now, they got rid of Howard Schultz there. Well, they didn't get rid of him. They'd love to have him back, obviously. But he's stepping down. He's been CEO there for 20 years. Stepping down now. They have replaced him. He's going to stay on board as an advisor for a bit. But you could see this name got real strong real quick, man. 92, 93. Then we busted back down. If you're going to buy a tech name that it's not, I know it's not a tech name, but kind of is. If you want to watch out for Starbucks down there, watch out for this, 82.70. That bottom right there, if that gets taken down, then maybe you venture back down to 75. But this is not a horrible name if you think the market's near some of the bottoms. They talked about opening 2,500 stores, and I think it was in the next year and a half or something, I guess maybe before 2025, in China. So Starbucks, definitely on full expansion there, Brendo.
Speaking of retail, Grove Collaborative, GROV, just popping up on a note from CVS, apparently. CVS and this one, GROV, on a collab, apparently. So, hey, huge volume, guys, still coming in, trying to test day highs here.
I'm going to have to add Grove to the list. GameStop, I'm going to get to Tesla in a quick second here, but GameStop just took out that high of the day, threw my stop pretty much right there, didn't even give it an extra cent or two, but once it broke that 30, which was a previous high, I'm going to be out of it. Was looking for the VWAP retrace. It's now gonzo. It's not a lot of volume, which just makes it hard to favor the breakout. It's a decent amount of volume, but if you kind of look here, yeah, you're tapering off a little bit. For a breakout at the high of the day this late in the session, I would prefer if it had a little bit more volume to it. That's why I'm going to stay away from the reversal. Tesla, yeah, now I'm looking at that 82. I was going to wait and think maybe we could get that 280, but I'll take a shot at it in this little consolidation in front of 82s, maybe give to 281.50 and take a couple of cracks at it. Even the market, the NASDAQ is sort of stalling out here on my 15-minute. You're just kind of dancing in this range. And I'm seeing Tesla try to creep higher as it's sort of stair-stepping up. So I think it's a little bit of relative strength. Well, not a little bit. Tesla's up 2.5%. It is relative strength compared to the ES and the NASDAQ. So I want to get into that party before it gets to VWAP here. So 282 is going to be that first line in the sand. But there is still one short I want. And give me a break. I was sitting at 48 on Micron to try and get this short in front of that high at 60. It just touched it, starting to pull back. I'll still try to sit in front of these offers, maybe step it down a little bit here on Micron, just because I want to be short this off the high of the day. As long as it's below there, I think there's some resistance. Everyone expecting doom and gloom come Thursday for Micron, whether it happens or not, has just been sellers off this level. And the reason I like 50-60, not rocket science, you got previous lows. You come back to some of these previous lows, you took them out and gapped down below that price. If I zoom out to 15-minute here, you can sort of see we gap down. There was that big, huge run through that 50-60, and then the next day, reestablish the resistance level, and now for 3 days in a row, you've been hanging out below us. So I want to short that one off that high.
Yeah, reestablish. All right, so I feel like we got to find some longs here. It's just, sorry, some shorts, not some longs. I'm already in the longs. That's why we did go over there to Starbucks. I just want to talk about that trade quickly for a second. Now we're off of that. What about PayPal? Trying to find like some names that are possibly at some kind of resistance right now. All right, PayPal, we don't need the daily chart, but like right into here, this is at resistance. You're below VWAP. VWAP's at 86. This name's kind of barcoding right now. We know that PayPal, again, another great name in the space, but now that it's below 90, I'm not super excited about it. I did like it when we were above 90. It doesn't take very long for it to come back in though. If it can take, I mean, what is the market? I just said I was looking for shorts, and then I looked back, and now we're above the 50 period on that market. So on the NASDAQ, I don't know. Maybe PayPal's not the right name there. You were just on Tesla. I know you're on Meta as well. That could be another name there. Datadog.
Well, I'm looking at Teslas for longs. Meta, I'll take a shot
for
at.
long?
I'll take a shot at Meta short, but I like
Meta's
Tesla.
been weak today. No, yeah, it's down 1%.
Yeah, Meta's been really weak.
Wow.
Tesla's up 2.5. Like
Ooh,
Tesla's
I like
relatively
that Meta
strong.
spot.
So yeah, I mean Meta here 135 and a half.
Or waiting?
I was waiting at 135, 36, and it just ticked up there, missed it by a cent. It's weird. Like when the market, when it's going into these ranges, it's going to happen. Like it'll come in, try to touch the high, and then just everyone's trying to go short in front of the high. So essentially, it'll reverse before it gets there. Sometimes you have to step down a little bit. That's why now I have some 39s in Micron because it can't seem to get all the way to the top. And that's why I want to take a shot. So on the way back down, I had to get in something just so I have the trade. And if it pops back up, I'll sit in the offer. But I'm taking Meta short in front of 135.50. Micron's there. I can't find too much of anything else I like. Like I said, I tried GameStop and that rolled over. I guess I could have paid for Rumble and then just shorted that in front of 12. But those aren't free locates on this. I mean, it was 1 cent per share to short GameStop. So add that to your, whatever hit you take or take it off of whatever win you make. Not that bad. Rumble, I'd have to price check it with only a half an hour to go. When you pay for shorts in the morning, you can use it all day, as many times as you want, that amount of shares. But when you take it late in the day, you have to really want to take that trade. Otherwise, it's not worth it.
I really like that Meta trade there. I know you're waiting for it, but it's down that 1% right here. I mean, I hate just hitting this one time to show you like the chart is just so nasty right here. Like it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. But I do like that short if you can get it needs to go 50 cents, and I mean for me that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Like I said, we're trying to be as specific as we can on all this. So AMV right now, yeah. Wait a minute, can we not trade it or just not even in as a
It's
quote?
not even, we don't even have the quote on it.
We don't even have the quote on it. So
we would look at it if we could.
Yeah, okay, unfortunately, guys, yeah, we can't. I was going to look at it for you because you guys are talking about it being halted and what's going on with the bid, the ask. Unfortunately, we are not ignoring it. Some IPOs, so we obviously have people that work here at our business development center, and they have to put in the symbols because this is proprietary software. So this is not like built by TD Ameritrade or anybody like that. This is our own software. So we have to make sure that we input all the symbols. And I guess today, for some reason, AMV was either missed or there is a problem with it. Sometimes if the floats are ridiculously low, do you know what the float is on that, Brendan, on AMV? I mean, actually, why am I even asking Brendan? I can just check it. It might not even be on Float Checker, so I don't know. AMV, nah, it's not even here. So, sometimes if there is too low of a float, we just won't be able to trade it because, like, Neil or I could just pound into, like, 10,000 shares. And if the float isn't that huge, then, we do take a little bit more risk for the company that's not,
Yeah, there's actually, this is for anyone that's at Day Trade the World, like there's a list of names that their average volume is so low or the float is so small that it opens every day like restricted for trading for traders at Day Trade the World because you could throw your buying power at it and obviously that would be risky if too many people did that and there's not enough liquidity in the market for a day trading firm. So we have to request when they move, you can get them unblocked, which is always a possibility. I did get into Tesla. However, I immediately, The market started rolling over. I was looking for shorts. I couldn't get Meta. I do have Micron, but I was in position. I'm like, well, I like the 280. I didn't like the 282 as much. So once it started to go sideways, I elected to take some shares off, basically flat. And that's more because this isn't the long I initially wanted. I wanted longs off 280. So if that's going to be the case, then I'm going to have less shares and give the stop a little bit more room. I just tried to chase Meta a little bit, but I don't know how far I want to chase this. I have offers. I mean, I was already offering up here, and now I'm chasing it beneath 135. I'm not going to chase it any farther. I'll just have to run with Micron we were able to get. It's now coming back down into VWAP. Now, remember, I like Micron down here in front of 50 for some dip buys, so we'll play it off the high, work it back down into that 50. If it bounces off 50, then maybe I can work back into the long. For now, Micron's giving you a solid range here. Just VWAP the high of the day and then back down. The first time I should have gone short when I got out of the long. This time we did go short back into VWAP here at 50. Probably the right decision to at least cover some of that Tesla and not hold on to it too far. But any pop in Meta, I mean, there isn't a big tech name, there isn't a big market cap name that looks weaker on the chart than this. At least it's out of the traditional old FANG stocks. This one can't seem to get going. Just could not get into that short, however. I should have just been a little bit more aggressive, 135.
Yeah, shout out to everybody on the chat there looking. Some people calling Meta. What's up, Mark? Calling Meta to 119. Oxy's getting shorted a lot as well, apparently. Yeah, I mean, there are programs out there that will tell you the net short position and if a stock's been, shorted over the last couple days or people have been accumulating shares. So if that's what you're talking about, interesting that people are starting to short Oxy. Remember, this is a name that, of course, Warren Buffett and Berkshire's been just legging into. This stock 57. Hold on a second. How low are we right now? Yeah, I was going to say this was up in the 70s. So, Occidental, I still can't get over, this name being up this high. Like, I remember this being like sub $10. Like, I feel like if we just continue this, you're going to see, yeah, there it is. So it just keeps on going to the downside. Why Warren is buying this? I don't know what's so special about Oxy versus everything else, but again, if you do feel like you want to sort of join that trading group and mentality, then yeah, maybe Oxy down here. You're getting pretty close, man. If you're into these names to average into them, then right now is a great spot. I mean, I've talked about buying some Chevron, some
Berkshire.
Yeah, XLE, buy some Berkshire as well. I mean, if you want some individual names, this is probably a good one in the space. For oil, though, I always like CVX. Remember, CVX has a big buyout in it. Share buyback, buyout. They're not getting bought out. A share buyback, one of the biggest ones on the street, for sure. Them, Google, and Apple are all in that.
Most consistent dividend out there.
Yeah,
well, one of them anyway.
I would say so. That's 4.5% dividend aristocrat. They've raised their dividends, I think, every year for the last 20-something years. So I like Chevron here. You're getting into some spots again. I just feel like to diversify your bonds in your portfolio, you should pick something up in the oil space. So right now that oil is sub $80 down here, I feel like it's almost like a can't miss situation. But, if the market does retest lows, which we're on right now, we're at lows. If the market continues to go down on the S&P 500, then oil's not safe, gold isn't safe, all of that. We did have, I don't know if we had that guy that likes to really buy gold and talk about gold. You tell me, Brennan, if we can drop that name yet. Not yet. We are working on getting more guests.
I think they know who we're talking
through. He has been, whatever. I mean, it's Peter Schiff. He's not scheduled on the show. It's just, we are working to get more guests to come through now that we have this great desk. If he's ever in town, he's more than welcome, and/or on a podcast style, with the interview. So we'll work on that. He wants to come through, but big guest coming. Jordan Freed from NFT.com coming through tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit about NFTs, see the state of that. But what's up, Brendo?
I want to mention, guys, on that AMV, which is that Atlas Motors in the EV space, I've been doing a lot of digging and haven't come up with any of the financials on it. It's not on the NASDAQ page. Here's an interesting note, though. They make this thing, which is apparently a work truck. So the initial reading that I found on it was on the battery side of things, but apparently this is coming from this Atlas Motors as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were a battery company. That's a funny thing about some of these smaller IPOs. That's not a bad. I mean, I don't know. Who knows how good that truck really is? But it's a nice.
I mean, that looked a lot like every other truck I've ever seen.
I will give them this much though.
I like the black on black.
They didn't have to recall every single truck that they had, which was Nikola, by the way. But that's not a lot of trucks. It was 93. So Nikola, it was like all of their trucks had to be recalled for something with the seatbelt. But it was literally like 93 trucks for them. But
that's like a day's work. Hopefully they'll be able to figure that out.
Is it a day's work? Because
93 trucks? I don't know. It doesn't seem like a very small.
Well, I mean, compared to everyone in the EV space gets compared to Tesla. It's an unfair comparison in terms of production. And I understand that. I know Elon makes the jokes with, okay, well, how many does Lucid do? I mean, Tesla's so far ahead of the game right now that it's not fair to any of these other companies to do that. I just got out of Micron short and into the long, into a market that just did this. So sometimes you can like a dip off VWAP. It's a lot different when it's consolidating on the way up. That just slammed into the bid at 50. So excuse me when I'm all of a sudden I'm not in love with this anymore. That was a big reversal. I am now out of the short, but you know, I almost think it's worth trimming some, like almost near these lows. Just take a couple of cents up, because how this fell down in the midst of the market reclaiming, you know, we're now red again, by the way, on the NASDAQ. We just reclaimed 11.3. Yeah, we're headed back into that downside. I'm going to have missed out on Meta, unfortunately. That was the one name. I had Micron short, but I was always going to get out at VWAP. Meta was the one thing I thought could get back down to that low of the day, and now it's there. It's getting pretty late, so I'm going to cancel my bids on SoFi. It's held above 5, but I'm not buying back. If this goes back to 5, you don't buy back in, because the whole idea of that trade is you're getting long at 01s and you're looking for the pop. It made the pop. I don't think it's going to get past or get to VWAP. So if we get back to 10, get out of SoFi, maybe there will be one last-ditch effort for Meta to get upside, and then I can try shorting the pop. I just don't want to be short this at the low of the day.
So just as another name there, well, it's the same name, but that AMV crowdfunding. Okay, I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see more about that. AMD did drop right back into this level again. I'm not going long again here. Like I said, I'd rather go long. You can see this is starting to uptick right here. So maybe 66.80 with a dump through 70 if that does happen. But you are at a spot right now that you could reload this if you did want to for AMD. It's just come right back in to a level that I don't mind. So that's not horrible right now. All right, thank you so much for your comments there. Sean and Neil talk more sense than Peter Schiff. Well, that's nice. But, you know, it's not about that. It's just about having diversified opinions on here, right? Yeah. It's like if he wants to come on and talk about how much crypto is a scam and gold. And I was just saying to one of the traders on the floor that I've already spoken to Peter Schiff. Like me and him, you know, we went there. Brendan's already had him on here. So we're not afraid to talk about this with him. And yeah, he's very, very smart dude, obviously. So would like to have him on just to see what's up. So that's that case. You know what's at an interesting level as well? Amazon. Amazon's down here at that 114 and trying to bounce again. So we'll try to look at 114 there for Amazon. I still feel like, and again, I was talking with one of the guys from SneakerCon today, and he's like, I love just shorting every single Amazon pop. And I mean, if you've been doing that, you've been okay. But at some point, though, you know, the tide is going to turn on some of these stocks, and the market is actually going to stay green one day. But until that day, I think he's right. Let's just keep on shorting Amazon. I mean, it went all the way back to 115 here today. So that was a good little spot. If you miss it early, you don't have to worry. Wait for levels to be developed. Like right here between 11 and 12 o'clock, you had some barcoding here. That's a short. Came right back in right there, went to 115. That's a short again. So we hit that, and now it's a downside move right to the 200 period, giving you $1 worth. So I feel like you can wait for this. Look, it's 11:35. It's 3:35 right now. We're only minutes away, 15 minutes away from the imbalances.
We got the early look.
We did get the early look. What was it there?
312 to sell.
Remember yesterday, hold on a second. We can look at the triple Qs from yesterday, because yesterday, remember, it was like the same number. It was like 250, 350 to sell, and then it came quite big as a sell into the close. And the reason why I'm doing this is not to show you that chart, but here's yesterday. So we went up. This is like this time yesterday. It's 3 o'clock. Then this happened. The number came out a bigger sell. For some reason, it bumped. Then at 355, the selling just absolutely intensified. whereby the triple Qs lost $3 and gave everything back to finish at the day's low. So I don't want to say that, I don't want to say that's going to happen here today, but here's the Qs right now. So if you get a little bit of a move up here, it's not going to take that much to give back everything down here to 272. So we're going to watch out. Let's just see if the same sort of rhetoric hits again here today. But that's a 330 sell. I don't know, man. I'm planning. Maybe we'll just get out of our positions right here. We're long AMD. It's only 2 cents in the money. We're dipping down. You know what? If we take this out, 66.90, we're out. Let's get out of AMD, 66.90. I was going to wait for down there. Maybe that's where we'll reload this. But I don't, even though it's only 10% left, I don't want to lose on this trade. So 66.90, we're going to get out. Every penny counts, and I'm not willing to lose it, especially when we're below the 50 period here on the market. So 66.90, and we'll get out of our AMD trade.
Yeah, I mean, losing on the long feels wrong right now. That's just the way I kind of feel about it. And I did duck out of some of Micron already, pretty much break even for a very, very small bounce there off of VWAP. But if it goes higher, I just want to short it again. And you can't short something if you're long. And last I checked, you can't short something if you're long. If the rules have changed, someone let me know. So I'm going to get out of the long here. And in any kind of a pop, I want to short Meta. I want to short Micron off the high of the day. I'll hang on to SoFi because, quite frankly, if it breaks, I'll see $5 coming a mile away, and I really only have 10% left of it anyway. So if it gets to 10, fair enough, I'm out. I want to short pops. I'm looking Micron. Want to find something else. Meta for sure in front of that 135 area. Brendo?
Market back to lows. They're trying to get back to lows here, guys. A little bit of relative strength play coming into play. Moderna, remember this morning we talked about the UK ordering a whole bunch more vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines from mRNA. So 122 on the brink here for mRNA, still up 2%.
We'll hopefully like or not like. I mean, I hope Aaron Judge hits a couple home runs the next couple games, just to give, because you were mentioning even people in Toronto buying out the whole section.
Well, I don't know if it's a fact
of left field there. Well,
there was a section in left field. If you watched the game, there was a section in left field that was basically empty with like one dude sitting there. So like I can't think of any other thing other than somebody bought the section to try to hit the home run.
Sense.
But you were saying what's the amount?
So there's a standing offer right now for $2 million for the ball that gets hit tonight or whenever, the tying ball. There's Roger Maris's family's at every game. So is Judge's mom. I guess they were showing her yesterday as well. So it's a $2 million standing offer. So if you were able to, I don't know how you secure all those seats. That's the other thing, because there's season ticket holders and there's everything there. So I don't know if the dude has to pay this guy out, but basically he's buying like 50 seats hoping to catch the ball.
Good
right?
luck,
like,
right? I mean,
there's going to be a fight. Like when
it's going to be
when that home run. So they've already said it. So every single ball of Judge's is marked right now, just in case. So every single pitch that's thrown to Judge is marked, so that there's, if you catch the ball, they're going to know what it is. There's authenticators apparently in every single aisle for the Jays right now. So you know what they're going to do is
watch him hit it into the 500s too. Like he'll just
there's
nobody up there. So
there's probably
now there's probably
there
people
probably
up
is
there,
somebody up there, but that's the thing. So these authenticators basically are going to try to get the hopefully it's not a kid, because that's going to get violent. Like I said, they're going to try to find this person, authenticate the ball, and then that's it, right? And then the guy could sell for $2 million or not, or whatever. Like we'll see what happens. The 60th home run, I think, was a bat, a jersey, all this. It was caught again by a pretty loyal Yankee fan there. So, different story if it's caught by a Blue Jays fan. Hold out for your cash, man. Get paid. You don't get to catch a ball like that too many times.
You mentioned something. If a kid catches it, there'll be a fight. Probably like I go to a lot of I go to a lot of baseball games. If you don't want to give a ball to a kid when you catch it, fair enough. Maybe you don't go very often. It's a keepsake. But if you fight a kid for a ball, like there is something mentally wrong with you. Like but seriously, if you're trying to catch a home run ball at a Jays game or any game, it doesn't matter, and there is a kid with their glove just trying to have fun, and they're under the ball, and you're fighting with them for the ball, like you're an adult.
Give it to the kid.
When I watch those I see the clips, I see the highlights, I'm just like, if somebody did that next to me, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, sometimes you've just got to take a step back and recognize the situation, right? Like, what are you doing?
But honestly, man, I'm catching that ball. I'm looking at the kid beside me and just going like this because
If it's
that's
a judge,
$2 million there. But
it's the judgment.
definitely do not fight.
Because like you see some of those
kids.
clips, it's like some
Nah,
grown man
brutal.
elbowing a kid.
But the funny story is, and I saw it on ESPN, when Judge was here earlier in the summer, he actually hit a home run that was caught by a Blue Jays fan in the stadium and gave it to the kid beside him wearing a Yankees jersey, and that was all over the place. And of course, people were like, well, of course, it has to happen in the greatest country in the world. You know,
That's right.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, we're known to be nice. So
well, we also apologize for everything.
Yeah,
Canadians like to say they're sorry.
I'm sorry, Neil. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting
I
you
said
there.
that, Neil.
My bad.
As we go, but okay, let's just finish this off. That was a couple of good talk. Hopefully tonight, Aaron Judge does hit that home run, and it is a peaceful exchange.
2 mil is a lot of money.
Now that we talked about that. All right, so there's Google. We did get out of Google here. It is starting to make a move back up, but again, we'll buy the dips, get out on here. A couple nice trades here for Google. We're gone. We're out of that trade. I did want to check back in on Lucid, and of course, Lucid again, good name for us today. We hit it early, an EV name, but look what happened. It took down 20 there. Maybe we were getting a little frugal by getting out too early. It did pop back into the 40s in that latest run, but Lucid on upgrades today, or on a new coverage from Cantor Fitzgerald, only up 2%. So I'm going to do a pass on Lucid for now. There's only now 7 minutes left. These are the market on closing balances. There's nothing happening now at 350. Those will get updated. Brendan just gave us an update right now, 2 minutes ago. He's still seeing 300 million to sell here for the imbalance coming at 350. A nothing burger, but we saw what happened yesterday. The market came out to sell, then we went back down to day's low. The NASDAQ's hovering, man. You're barely down, but you know the S&P is down 0.5%, which is a decent number.
I got to show this one. Sometimes you show a chart because it'll be embarrassing to show, but we have to look at Win. Like Win's red on the day. That was super strong in the last couple of sessions, but look at the move that it just made to the downside. Sometimes you take a trade because of the setup, and then you look back on it, it's like, that is the worst possible out. Like, I don't know that you could hold on to a trade with any less of diamond hands in this. It got to VWAP on a retracement because it was looking strong, shorted off the highs. Look at it since it broke VWAP, just no end in sight. The casino names are giving it back. Great run. They're still up a bunch from a couple of days ago, but gonna have to maybe look at Win differently from a different lens tomorrow and think about the short and maybe filling in that gap because it's a big gap there, almost 10% from last week's lows. Sometimes what goes up must come down. I didn't believe in Win nearly enough on that short, but 5 minutes to imbalances. I don't think I wanted to get into anything new. I was looking for that pop in meta. I backed away. I've canceled my offers in front of 135. We're a little tight to the imbalances, so I'll see how they come out, and if there's an opportunity, maybe I'd take it in the queues or in meta itself, I suppose. But with 5 minutes to go to those imbalances, a little bit too late to add something new because I don't think we can get a move fast enough before these imbalances do come. But it's been a lot of fun, guys. I mean, the market is definitely moving. And Mike, so Mike in the chat's like, Neil, you called the Win drop after VWAP yesterday. I know, but that's yesterday. And that's why I'm angry at myself, to be perfectly honest with you. It's because I saw what happened yesterday. I was like, okay, shorted it. It couldn't really follow through past VWAP. I'm like, okay, well, next time we get up there, it should be able to go. And then I take it off even more shallow. Like last time I took it, held it in for the bigger move. It supported 67. I should have been looking for that same level to the downside. It's all well and good to make a read. The second thing you have to do is execute the trade, right? That's why we talk through our ideas and hold yourself accountable by pointing out when you make a bit of a mistake. And not only losses or mistakes. That's another thing to keep in mind. You can have a winning trade, but it can be an obvious mistake like you can see here on Win because look how far it fell, Brendo.
Might not move the stock, but worth a note, guys. Disney set to close all parks in Florida for the next 2 days for Hurricane Ian. So heads up, Disney down anyways on the day. Didn't really do anything, but yeah. No Disney parks in Florida for the next 2 days.
Actually, you should say this. If anybody that's down there in the path of Ian, just if you can, man, just be safe. Because I was hearing this morning that Tampa doesn't really get hurricanes. So a lot of the reason why this could be so serious is like some areas that you're used to getting in a bunch, but Tampa doesn't get a lot of hurricanes down there. So
I mean, it's Orlando where Disney is. Like I don't remember the last time Disney was closed for hurricanes and stuff like that.
They usually come up there. It's Yeah, I mean, Fort Lauderdale, fine. My family lived out there for a little bit. Like, you know, you hunker down. If you can, you get out of Dodge.
Yep.
No hero stuff. I understand not everybody can get out of there, but if you can, get out of the path, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people there talking about all that kind of stuff. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's right. Good NHL team. Another one. Can't believe they've been to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals or
Good
whatever
team.
it is. Looking to go for 4 right now, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, so it's funny you brought that to us there, Brendan, because look at this name. And I wasn't even... Obviously, didn't know that story. It just broke 50 seconds ago. We threw to Brendan there for Disney. But what about Airbnb? Like, if there was any more time left in the day, wow, I really like this setup for Airbnb. Obviously, the futures were just positive, and now we're negative again. But look at Airbnb barcoding. Plus, this wick didn't happen, so I'm not looking at that. But this 105, then you have VWAP at 106. Like, for me, I would wait for this to break, hit VWAP, go long once we break through VWAP, then use this top as the bottom, giving yourself like 20, 30 cents worth of room. This is a great setup here for Airbnb for sure. Anyways, I feel like these dips down to 104. I'm going to put this on my radar for the next couple days, but I may or may not trade it. But 4 million shares, pretty good here for Airbnb. And it's at that top again, right into this moment. So we'll see what it looks like on a daily chart. This is a 20-minute interval. Look at that 104, pretty smooth there. I like that. What does it look like on a daily chart here for Airbnb? All right, so we've been low to 90. So as we're getting closer, obviously the NASDAQ, that's the NASDAQ bottom. We're a little bit away from that. We're about 300 points away from that NASDAQ June bottom. So if that is tested, Airbnb is a name that I like. I was actually liking I'm not in Airbnb. I'm actually surprised that I had discipline not to buy this because I really liked Airbnb here at that 140, 150 area. I think they're revolutionizing that whole space, right? Although I don't think it's hard for competition to come in, because you build an app, you get people on it, and that's that. But again, first mover advantage. I like Airbnb here. I'm surprised at how far it's pushed down against some of the highs, like 220 down to 105. But anyways, Airbnb, if there was any more time in the day, I really like this break. You could even take that break of 105.85. It's right here. But again, I like it above 106. Take VWAP down, then make your way to 107 with a small 20-cent hit there. So watch out for Airbnb. I like this name. It's just, we only have now 1 minute to go, Neil, before these imbalances come through. And I see Disney actually, you were just on Disney.
I was just on it because I looked at the daily chart.
Disney did make that move down.
Yeah, it's at 95 Disney testing, and you have that 90 level, which could come into play. That was that recent low that it just put in.
Wasn't Disney 120 not too long ago?
Yeah, Disney was just up there.
I talked about filling that gap.
So many of these names, like Disney was just at the 200 period at 125, then at 115, and now you're basically all the way back to the lows. Like we get to 90, maybe you get a bit of a bounce, but under a tremendous amount of pressure. Someone just asked in the chat, are we going to cover BlackBerry earnings? If it moves.
When do they report?
I'll be the first person. Look, I actually still have a phone that has BlackBerry on it, yet I can't tell you when they report. And I apologize for that. I mean, we can't know everything, but
just because you own the phone doesn't mean you need to know the date they report.
It's the opposite. I'm the anti guy. It's tonight.
We didn't have an earnings board today, did we?
Because it's BlackBerry, man.
What do you mean, BlackBerry? I mean,
I know, but it has a short interest, so we should watch it.
It's a great day trading.
It's got a short interest.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, imbalances just came out. We missed that. I'm a little bit perplexed by that. Okay, so wow, Google coming with the big sell right now. How often do we see that for a sell side there for Google? So let's go to the 1 minute chart, see what's happening right now. It's not really, it's not really doing anything on the 1 minute, but there's Google with a sell. Visa, US Steel right there, NEO with a sell. I'm not really seeing anything else. Someone's buying up Peloton there. There's Visa. Let's see if that's doing anything. 177. Come on, charts. Let's go. Load up. Visa still at that spot, not moving down there as well. So right now, not much happening on these imbalances, but that's a decent one for Google. But look what Google did. It actually went up. So there's the Google imbalances right now, sell. And yeah, it's kind of just doing nothing right here. So must not be too big of a deal, but Google's sitting there on the sell side.
Yeah, I mean, it's like US Steel for a decent sell. I'm like, oh, that was beaten up the other day. Maybe that's worth a short off the highs because it's getting back there. And it went up as well. So it actually bounced just like everything else. It's kind of weird. But look, this is what I meant by getting beaten down. US Steel has this thing about finding resistance at the most obvious levels, like $25 and then up here just in front of 40, 30 last year makes some sense. But it's back down to some pretty juicy lows as well. So you get down into 16 or 15, could be like nibbling time because you get these consolidation bounces that are fantastic. Just watch out. Demand is obviously a bit of a concern here for them and the entire space. Getting crushed, but you get down to the 15 area, this could start to get tradable again. I know we don't trade these very often, but when U.S. Steel moves, it's worth it. I look at this 25 level and ask myself, why wasn't I as a day trader looking for shorts when it was rejecting that 200 period moving average? There was a couple of days where you took your shot and you couldn't have missed if you held on to the short. I'll be looking for some long bounce plays on U.S. Steel around 15 if we see that price. It's a big if. I don't think it's that big of an if, actually. I think we're probably a chance to get it. The market is bouncing. If it overall came out sell 1.5 billion, then color me a little bit surprised because, you know, we were grinding lower. I'm going to throw up the cues, guys, if we can. Come on. There we go, if it'll load up. But we were bouncing downside, looking like the market was going to give it up at the end of the day. And then we get a sell side imbalance, and there's the market running up. My gut is telling me like, maybe fade this move with a stop at this recent high and then take a shot. It just feels like it would make some sense, but we're now screaming a little bit to the upside on those sell imbalances. Go figure.
Yeah, so Brendan's telling us this, and I'm not going to question it because he's talking about it according to Financial Juice, but he said it's the fourth straight 1 billion sell number. I feel like yesterday was 750 or 7 something, but it doesn't matter.
Sure
it's close enough, whatever it is. It's the fourth straight sell time there. And if you're going to look at the NASDAQ, I mean, we've been talking about that over and over again, and the dip that it's had into the close. Not today. Sell side be damned today as the market just makes its move right back up to 130.60, trying to take out right now the afternoon high. So if we do that, look, it's really nice to see yesterday's close, man, in the NASDAQ. We talked about how nasty that was. If I can get it, well, I don't know if I can get it now. I'll have to go back to this 24-hour clock on that. But yesterday's close was real nasty downside. Now today we are getting that relief rally. So that's really nice into that close. Will we take it out? I sure hope we do. But that, again, the market with only 6 minutes left. Some nice moves, man. We got out of our Google trade at the bottom. It's now right back up to the top. AMD, same ways. Let's check out Apple. Look at that Apple buy down there. And I just saw Prad show up now. That we talked about this on his show when we had that 150 bottom. So right there, 150 bottom, came in on Apple. Nice move back up to the upside. So that was a great long. We'll see if Apple can do that again. It's up to 152 now. I'm always going to scalp this out and then try to hold a piece. So 20, 40, 60, 81. So we hold 20% for that $2 move. We get it. So it's about $1.50 there, but it did move all the way to view up with only 5 minutes left. Let's see what happens. Those imbalances could turn, spike lower right now. Let's wait to see.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I should have jumped in front of that level on the cues. I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. The recent high was at 275.25. There was just one shot there. If you took it at 80s, it pulled back about 30 cents or so for a scalp trade off that high. But you know, I wouldn't stand in front of that train again. You wanted to take that shot before 355 because at 355, those imbalances do get updated as they pair off a little bit. What is going on over there? I don't know. He went to Prad, and Prad, I don't know
what he's doing. Prad is putting lotion on himself right now. So
okay.
Good job on that one.
The entire production crew's they're all dying laughing right now.
Yeah. That was not a great look. But you guys don't put Prad on when he's doing that, guys.
Man.
Come on, guys. That's
it's
not
one
good.
thing to get me when I'm stuffing Timbits down my gullet because that's just what I do. But come on, don't do it to Prad. You can get
the guy's already
get
looking,
me all day long.
He's already looking for a girlfriend. That shot's not helping anybody.
He's going to his brother. He's going to his brother's wedding, and he's gonna come back engaged. Those are the bets we're making right now. So, you don't think so?
Hell no, I don't think he's going to get engaged. Doesn't she have to say yes or what? Like, I mean, there's...
You're out here saying don't put him on camera? You're going to throw fire like that?
Of course I'm throwing fire. I'm throwing a lot of shade right there. But, hey, look, I can't be here for my good looks. I have to be here for the comments. But
that was cold.
That was cold.
That was ice cold.
That was ice cold right there. But yo, what's up, guys? You guys are in that Airbnb trade there. Yeah, savage right there. ABNB right now. No, I just don't think he's. Wow, there it is. There's the trade we gave you. Forget about how savage it is. We're savage in this market right now. Look at that Airbnb trade that we gave you. I said a break of 106. There it is, 40 cents. Congratulations, man, to everybody that's had that. A couple people there definitely have that right there. Good call on Airbnb. Well, good call for you guys taking it. I'm not in it. But there's the play there. A nice little move to the upside for Airbnb. As all that was happening, though, I was responding to Maggie's email because today is Maggie's last day. So we're pretty sad to see her go. But hey, she's helped us grow to the spot that we're at right now. Bigger and better things for Trader TV Live. For Maggie as well, so I want to give a big thank you to her as we go on. So thanks to Maggie for everything that she's done. And as she said in her email, she's going to be watching Trader TV Live and seeing how we progress. So shout out to you, Maggie. I'm very excited to see how you progress in your career as well. So stay up to date with all of us on that one. Thanks to that. But hey, that's what happens. People move spots, and now Justin is in the building.
He's got some big shoes. Got big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, they're what, about a size 8 or so?
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't tell. Kind of
big shoes there. We love Maggie here, and we wish her all of the best. What size is it, Maggie? What size shoe are you? 7.5. Not a bad guess.
Good
right
guess.
there.
Good guess. I like it.
Not
Why
bad.
not?
All right, 3 minutes to go here on what's a pretty exciting day.
The market did reverse there, by the way. So there was
reversal.
that. Eventually, that sell imbalance, I guess, does pay off. But I see everything pairing. Not much is left. U.S. Steel is under $1 million. Pinterest is there to the buy side, but I feel like Pins has that buyout rumor that keeps on going. So every time I see it on the buy imbalance, I feel like there's people that are taking advantage of it. But that just came to the downside as well, even on the buy and bounce. They're all pairing off here as we get into that close. 2 minutes to go. We'll have Tony on the bell because it's Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
He said he is working the game tonight. I asked him, I don't think he said if he was working tomorrow, but I think I asked him.
Yeah, he works every night, man. This guy.
I don't know if it's every night, but
I think
just
it is. I think it. Tony, you working every night at the Jays game? Yeah, man.
He's there tomorrow.
This guy works, 24/7. He'd work if
get that
if
free
he
beer in
could.
the playoffs, man.
Yeah. So let's get ready to rock and roll. Only a minute and a half to go. Great trade on Airbnb. I think you guys got to get out of it. It went right back into that neighborhood again, where you could easily find yourself out of that Airbnb trade. So let's watch out for that as we continue to go. Only a minute and a half. Let's check out the imbalances just right quick. Right now, you can see they've all pretty much paired off. That U.S. Steel still hanging around, but doesn't look like it's doing much anyways, if the minute, it's not doing much there as well. NEO, that's a big name that we always look at. Let's watch that tomorrow. That 17 bottom definitely coming into play. We just talked about Pinterest is always moving around. Activism, yeah, that's right. Yeah, on Pinterest is there, not Activision Blizzard. On there's Coke as well. A few good names to go. Google was just there as a sell. But as you can see, the imbalance is not having a whole hell of a lot of effect on the market right now. But with less than a minute to go, thank you to everybody for watching today. If you can, hit the like button, man. We're back tomorrow, but hit the like button now. 30 seconds to go. Ooh, yeah, that's right. It is not going to be Tony on the bell.
It's not, which makes perfect sense because it is, as we said, Maggie's last day. She'll be great moving on because she's a killer, and killers succeed no matter where they go. So ringing the bell on her final day is going to be Maggie, a member of the family always, no matter what. When you're with Trader TV Live, you're a member of the fam forever. Get the camera on her. There she is.
There we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. 2. I don't want her to ring it because that means she's gone, right? And 1. That's the end of the day. There we go, Maggie, for that one. So thank you so much, Maggie. Of course, the market did close about 3 seconds earlier than she rang the bell. But
it doesn't close till we say it closes.
That's the thing. I was like, okay, if this is her last thing, let's sort of extend that as much as we can. Thanks, Maggie. Neil and I have already said our piece in that respect. So let's go, Brendan. Although we, got distracted there the last 5 or 6 minutes, where did the markets end up? Please say green.
We give it all back, guys. Unfortunately, outside of the NASDAQ, it was shaping up as a very good day in the pre-market if you joined us. But unfortunately, that's the way things look at the end of it. 0.5% for the Dow, leading the way to the downside. 0.2 there for the S&P. The NASDAQ does hold on to positive territory. 0.2 to the upside. Crude oil as well with a positive day. 2.3% on that OPEC note this morning. But ouch. Back to the downside, it would appear.
Yeah, ouch. And we do, and look, someone asked us, are we going to cover BlackBerry earnings? Of course we'll cover it tomorrow. Now, did I know BlackBerry reported tonight? I absolutely did not. That's on me. I'm a trader. I should have known that. And it is interesting because it's not a huge short interest. We've talked about this before. Beaten up names that have a decent short interest. It doesn't take much for shorts to want to have to cover. So this should be on our radars. Nothing yet. It's not really moving, but we'll add that to the list. It'll be on there for tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say,
not anymore.
The last time I checked, it was 7. Yeah, so
it's
BlackBerry, really low short interest rate now. So not much happening for BlackBerry. We'll just get there. But earnings season's back, baby, and we like that. So we'll go awesome because whenever earnings season is here, it just means more opportunities. Make sure you sign up for our watch list. Watchlist.tradertv.live. We'll go over all the earnings, not all of them, but the important ones that you need to know will be on there. So yeah, I mean, again, today, there's really only one person to thank. We'll just do it again. We'll thank Maggie one more time. We wish her the best of luck. I mean, when she started, we were probably at like 100,000 subscribers or something. Now we're over 350,000. So I want to give her a big shout out and thank you to all that for sure as well. So best of luck with all of that. A big shout out, of course, to Lucas, to Fahad today. Just shout out to Prad, who I hope Prad gets married, man. I really do. So
in his own time, he's young. No rush.
Yeah. When he's ready. Let's hope that he gets hooked up there. So shout out to Prad. Shout out to Sharif. What a great midday show they had today. Thanks for all the positive comments on that show as well. Thanks to Mark, Randy,
Rob
was working back there today. I'm so excited to get that spot moving. So, all right, Neil, one more time to say bye to Maggie, and then we'll wrap this up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about you, Maggie, a valuable member of the team, as we've all said on her last day. Everyone give her a great shout out to send her off. We'll be back tomorrow, and it'll be a little bit less bright without it. We'll enjoy the time that we had. It is Trader TV Live. We'll see you 8:30
There they are. See ya.